The following podcast may contain spoilers, strong language, graphic violence, and nudity. Viewer discretion is advised.
Get away from her, you bitch!
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 Four guys and a movie. Four guys and a movie. Donnie, Brian, Rob, and Joe reviewing movies for the show. Four guys and a movie.
Hello, everyone. It's 4 a.m. once again, and that means it's time for the 4 a.m. podcast, where me and my friends watch movies from our past and see how they hold up to our older, more cynical selves. Joining with me today, as always, is...
Brian.
Rob.
It's game over, Tony.
That's right, I am Tony, and I am the host, and it's our 100th episode!
Yay! 100! Yay!
So we'll have some special 100th episode announcements coming up later in the podcast. So make sure you stay tuned to that. Exciting stuff, guys. Until then...
Take those little blue pills so you'll be hard by the time you get there.
That's going to make it more awkward to say this next sentence.
This erection's lasting longer than 4 hours.
Which is, there are some places in the universe you don't go alone.
Okay.
That's just all the more awkward to
Bring
say.
your mega boner.
Because this time there's more. This time it's war. It's war. It's Aliens from 1986, directed by James Cameron, who you probably know from some little things like Terminator, The Abyss.
This movie sucks.
True Lies.
All those movies suck.
Well, plus
No one watches those movies.
5 frickin' avatars.
Well,
That's,
listen, I'll believe it when I actually, I won't actually see any more of them. I didn't really like Avatar.
It happens.
That's the thing. We have Avatar 5 listed for 2025. Like,
Okay.
that's presumptuous, isn't it?
All right.
I mean, he's supposed to make the second one.
Yeah. But swinging for the fences, I guess.
Is he trying to top the Lord of the Rings trilogy where he's going to make 4 movies at the same time?
I would imagine close enough to it, because 2 is slated for 2020, 3 is 2021, and then 4 is 2024, and like I said, 2025. So he's doing more than one at a time, for sure.
If he doesn't choke himself out doing that autoerotic asphyxiation down at the bottom of the ocean.
Okay, then. All right.
Look, you got a lot of time in the
right.
pod on the way down there.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
There's already not a lot of air. It just makes it easier.
It's true.
So, what's your personal history with this movie, Brian?
The fish is eating it.
So, yeah, I saw this movie as a kid. This came out in 86, so I was probably like 8 when I first saw it, 8 or 9 when I first saw it on TV, and it's fucking amazing. And I saw this one before I saw Alien, the original movie. And it was just fucking amazing. It's like, you got giant guns, you got a big old, like vehicle with guns on the top of it, you got flying jets that shoot out it's awesome. It's just fucking awesome. Things blowing up. And, it's just, I love this movie as a kid.
All right, Joe.
It's fucking Aliens, man. I don't even remember the first time I saw this. This was just one of those ones that was in the playlist with Commando and all the other stuff. Just sitting in front of my TV watching the action sequences over and over again. I mean, I think I've just kind of grown up with this movie like Star Wars. You can't really remember your first time. It's always been there.
All right, Rob.
I think I'm in the same boat as Joe. I can't remember the first time I saw this, but I've seen it dozens, probably, closing in on 100 times or so. I love this movie. There were alien toys in the 90s, way after this movie came out, for no reason at all, and that was awesome. That has nothing to do with anything I'm saying, but I love this. It's a great movie. I love it.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I don't remember the first time, but I've seen it several times since, so love this movie. Spoiler alert, but it's a great movie. Why wouldn't you? Why did the toys come out in the 90s?
I don't know.
What the hell
Do not know.
Because everyone just loves aliens.
I think someone wanted to collect them, and so they had them made to be able to collect them. That's probably what it was.
Kenner?
They weren't like someone was like, I know some old guy who's gonna want to have these toys now. they're not for kids, but someone's gonna pay for these toys.
Well, that's what's weird about it. It's like, hey, let's make some toys for kids on a 5-year-old property that's rated R and not at all intended for children.
Because remember, like at that point, USA or TNT or one of those stations was playing this
all the
time.
which is probably the first time I saw it.
Yeah.
Was on one of those channels.
I know I didn't see it uncut, whatever. I saw it on one of those channels as a kid. Like,
yeah, plus I do think this was probably around the big boon of he started getting Predators and Batmans and
it
all
was
kinds of
Alien and
Bigfoots
Predator
and
toys were at the
Draculas.
same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, they were all over the place.
If I remember right, those toys though in the 90s were kind of crappy. At least the Colonial Marine figures, right? Weren't they very poorly articulated?
Oh
Yes.
yeah, I mean they were standard Kenner figures. They just they were posed, and then you could wave their arms.
You
up
could
and
turn
down.
the waist maybe.
the head
Yeah.
might turn. That's about it.
Yeah.
They were permanently posed in the way of holding that giant ass gun they had to strap on their back. But hey, who cared?
I think the Drake figure, if you squeezed his legs, and please don't quote me on this, I might be wrong. If you
Quote him.
Yeah, that's fine. If you squeeze the Drake figure, I think his torso swings around, so he could swing that big ass gun.
Okay.
Did you know if you say Drake's name 3 times in the mirror, he shows up to cry with you about your ex-girlfriend?
Listen, I don't know rappers.
Okay, sorry.
I don't
Sorry.
know rappers.
I get that one. I'm not sure why it's an urban myth all of a sudden, but
My whole life revolves around dinosaur movies. I
Sorry,
don't
sorry,
know cool
sorry.
people things.
are there dinosaurs in this movie? I don't think there are.
It's close enough.
No.
Yeah.
After that weird interlude, anyone want to guess at how much money this movie cost to make?
Franklin Rapper.
I'm gonna say
It's not a callback, Rob. It's just dumb.
86. Fuck.
That $86? That's
No,
what you're
I'm
going-
trying to.
I'm
do
gonna
year.
go 48 million. That's my guess.
I feel like they got way more out of it than they spent on it. Like the effects they got were like higher quality than they were accounting on, whatever. So I'm gonna say 50 million.
I'm gonna go low. I'm going for 40.
Wow. That would be 18 million.
Okay, so it's even lower than that. Even lower than that. Like,
18.5. But yeah. Want to guess how much money this movie made?
120 million.
I'm gonna go
1986, guys.
Oh,
100, even 100.
I'm thinking 50.
That was weirdly off again. I guess it will go to Joe, but it was 85 million.
okay.
I knew 100 was too high, but I figured it was kind of safe.
Yeah.
Well, I played the math off of them because they were both into triple digits. So I'm like, it had to have surpassed 50, but I don't think it got 100.
Yeah.
You could have
That's
said
fair.
$1 and still won. You know? Yeah.
That's also fair. All right. And now who's in this
Everyone?
stockpile?
So you took the 80s and you were like, come on over. Let's make a badass movie.
Only the good ones.
Yeah, only the good ones. So, yeah, of course, Sigourney Weaver's going to spearhead this thing as Ellen Ripley. You got Carrie Henn as Newt, Michael Biehn as Corporal Hicks, Paul Reiser as Burke, Lance Henriksen as Bishop. Bill Paxton was already there. He just showed up.
lived there.
Private Hudson.
He just came in James Cameron's pocket.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, that was the payback for the knifey fingers scene.
He was brought in
Phrasing, are we
James
not doing phrasing?
Cameron's
How do you
briefcase.
wait? How do you sneak up on somebody like that? I like.
That's a dangerous man right there.
To be fair, no one said anything about the fact that James Cameron wasn't aware this was happening.
Oh, that's true. He probably had a belt around his neck.
Wow. I'm sorry, James Cameron.
Well, he was really intent on the recording of one scene, and he's focused in
Yeah.
the camera, and Bill
I don't
Paxton's just like,
Dude's got $1 billion. I do not apologize.
That's fair.
Take your lumps, Mr. Cameron.
you got William Hope as Lieutenant Gorman, Jeanette Goldstein as Private Vasquez, and Al Matthews as Sergeant Apone.
Like Goldstein isn't a Latino name.
Nope.
no, it's not.
It is not. I also forgot because Joe's weird comment before made me forget about the history of this movie.
Which one?
I'll try and make this brief. So Lance Henriksen was kind of on the outs with acting at the time he made this, and if this movie didn't do well, he was gonna quit acting altogether. So hooray for this being a big hit.
I mean, I guess.
Carrie Hahn repeatedly blew her scene where she was falling down the vent shaft.
I read about this.
Because she was having so much fun with this giant slide that they gave her. So finally, James Cameron was like, if you do the scene properly, I'll let you play with it all day. And she did.
That's dope.
Yeah. Fox execs were a little nervous when they saw the early cut of this movie, saying that they thought that all their money was going to sets instead of special effects, to which they were like, we gotcha, because like all those sets are miniatures, so it kind of is special effects. Like 90% of the sets anyway.
Dope.
Yeah, I remember seeing like a little ramp that the APC's going down when it's slamming into walls and stuff, and it's like the size of like an RC car.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Well, no, one of the first vehicles they show on the planet just looks like an RC car. Like something. I'm not sure if I saw a screw in it. It looked like a legit RC car that's just blown up the size.
Probably was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit more obvious to tell. It still looks great, but it's a lot more obvious, like, especially knowing that when I watch this now, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, this is all miniatures. That's all miniatures. Like, they're going through that bay with the loaders and that one ship and everything. I'm like, yeah, those are just all miniatures. That's awesome.
It's only a model.
Yeah. The one set that they did have was the alien nest, which stayed intact for many years, including when the crew showed up to film the scene from Batman at Access Chemicals, where they had to clear out some of those extra bodies and whatnot from the aliens.
Dude, I'm so hard right now.
Yeah.
Somebody give me a belt.
Okay.
And a fish tank.
And
Oh shit, they eating it.
finally, like most movies, this wasn't all filmed in order. So James Cameron let the crew, like most, the Marines and whatever, he let them kind of personalize their uniforms, which is why they are all a bit unique. And he also filmed the scene where you meet all them as the last scene. That way they were more, had that added camaraderie built up from filming the rest of the movie and everything. So they seemed like more of a unit.
Cool.
Yeah.
He's thinking. He's thinking.
He's a smart guy. All right. So let's get into this. Great start.
Someone's having a good nap in this cold, dead space.
Yeah, much like the original Alien movie, it starts with, you see the glass and a computer comes to life. You see it reflected on there.
Yeah. So when I was younger, bless you, I honestly thought, like, are you going to do that the whole episode?
I hope not, but potentially.
So, like,
Whatever, crinkle pants.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say, when I'm not sneezing, I'm going to be crinkling wrappers.
Well, my pants are only crinkly because of that Access Chemicals thing. So, so when I was a kid, like, I honestly thought, like, the whole scene where the torch comes in and like opens her escape shuttle door thing. I was like, are they trying to make us think that that's like an alien arm or something? But now seeing it again, I'm like, probably not.
Yeah, I don't think so. Fun side note though, like if you pay attention, you can actually see the little harpoon gun thing still at the end of the door from the first movie.
Nice.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's cute.
So it does just start off where the first movie ended. You're in the Nostromo escape shuttle.
Yep.
Ripley is in hypersleep.
Yep.
With Jones the cat.
Yep. Yay, Jonesy.
This salvage team comes in and cuts into the, they find the shuttle just floating in space and they cut into it and rescue Ripley.
Those are very polite salvagers because they're like, oh man, there goes our salvage rights.
Yeah, right.
And, in most shows, they would just be like, all right, we'll toss her out the side.
Unplug and problem solved.
Yeah.
But
They were big animal lovers. They
decent
couldn't do it.
folks,
She
yeah.
had a cat.
That's what it was, yeah. No, that cat looks cute.
save Jonesy. So yeah, they bring her back to this satellite station that's orbiting Earth. That is supposed to be Earth.
Yeah.
Looks like
I
Earth.
believe so. Yeah.
She like
I don't know if they ever actually said, but
It's like
it clearly is.
Is
Earth.
it the Wayland Yutani?
Yeah.
Yes.
Just
I think it was
corporate
like
office or
Gateway
something?
Station or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. because they've gotten much bigger since she fell asleep, which we find out has been 57 years.
57
Yes.
years.
Prior to that. And her daughter that she left behind in the first movie has long since died of old age.
It was only 2 years.
Well, okay, not long since.
Fun fact, though, the picture of her, that's Sigourney Weaver's mother.
Yes.
Yeah. Doesn't look anything like Amanda Ripley from Alien Isolation.
Yeah.
A game where you have a really cool encounter with an alien and then a disappointing ending.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Plus, I think going by that game, she does not die of old age, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, we get a dope scene
It's open to interpretation.
Yeah.
where she's like in the hospital, and he tells her like, "Oh, you've been in 57 years," and like her heart starts beating all crazy and stuff, and she's like, "Kill me, kill me."
They're like, in case you forgot, this is how aliens work.
Yeah, like, out of her stomach's like, I'm an alien.
So now, I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. We watched A Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, if Freddy Krueger would have waltzed his way into Ripley's nightmares, she would just look at him like, "Who the hell do you think you are?"
He's like, clearly, I don't need to be here. You got discovered.
And then an alien would eat his face. Lime jello. What? Sorry, guys. I have a family of mongoloids living above me, and
They appear to be having some sort of tipping things over contest.
I believe so.
We record the 4 a.m. podcast underneath a bowling alley. That's just...
It's Tommy Wiseau going on that rampage at
no.
the end of the room.
He's got his angry, tranquilized bear rage.
You bitch.
He's throwing all kinds of hollow TVs around
Yeah.
and shit.
Could you just get to the dress humping and then shoot yourself, please? Thank you.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm gonna go get more margarita.
Oh, that seems like a great idea.
Get some Doritos too.
I don't have any.
Damn it.
Bring them tomorrow.
So now we cut to a scene of people from the corporation being douchebags.
Yeah.
Sure enough, there's some kind of border meeting where they're talking about whether or not they deem her sane enough to continue her job
She
or
blew
whatever.
up a $42 million spaceship.
Yeah.
Which, like, they weren't familiar at the time about how much things actually cost to go in space. It's like,
It's the future 80s.
yeah,
I don't know
sure.
what it costs.
Sure.
Yeah,
It's like, I'm thinking like in Austin Powers, it's like $1 million. And they're like, okay, you can have
Yeah.
that. Like, all right. Like, that's it.
yeah, $42 million wouldn't even pay for the fuel to get that thing in space.
Sounds like a tax write-off.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the future and things got cheaper somehow.
Oh, maybe.
Sure
But yeah,
enough.
they're
Made
all,
America great
Okay,
again.
wait,
Bas-
quick. Again, I want to go into this. I love
this.
80s future. I
Yes.
don't care what you say.
Yep, future 80s, where it's at.
Yes, I love this style with like these crappy DOS computers that everything runs on, and like they got the big.
Do you?
I do. I like.
Well, I like-
it's
okay,
super manual with like
it's
the
still-
big heavy levers and shit.
Hand your phone over. We'll break that for you. I'll give you
No,
a nice...
we're not saying we want to live there, but it's a cool setting.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I like how there's somehow, like, there's these crappy DOS computers, but then there's synthetic people.
You know what I
Yeah.
love more than 80s future?
What's that?
bacon.
Default double stuff Oreos.
Yeah.
Wow.
When they're not claiming to be double stuffed, but they are anyway.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah,
that in my
to
mouth.
be fair, it's easy to have a synthetic human when he just runs on linguine.
Well, you just, Lance Henriksen, you got a synthetic human.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. But we're getting ahead of ourselves here.
Yeah.
So basically, they don't believe her about there being an alien on the ship. They're like, you just went crazy and blew it up.
Yeah. All we know is there's a bunch of dead people and the ship is gone. We blame you, so you're fired.
Judging by our timestamps, you were probably most likely on your period at the time.
The views and opinions of Margarita Rob are those of him and him alone, and not
Those are
the
the
rest of
views and
4AM podcast.
opinions of the Wayland Yutani Corporation.
That is correct.
Wanna
These are
point
not
that
coming from me. It's coming from Wayland Yutani
And most of America at the
and
moment.
Paul Reiser specifically.
Oh. Okay.
Well,
then.
I like how Paul Reiser was like, no, this is going to go okay. Don't worry about it. And he didn't say dick to help her
Not a
while
thing.
she's in there. Then he's like, well, that could have gone better.
You didn't say shit. Like,
Yeah.
but he's a scumbag anyway.
Your pop collar.
Can I also say, a little sad at this moment to see Harry Dean Stanton on the board behind her saying deceased under it.
Why?
Bad time.
Bad timing?
Because he just died?
Okay.
I don't even know who it is. I don't know names of people like that. I don't know.
Alright.
Well, I mean, John Hurt too. He
Yeah.
died last year. Man.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, yeah.
Well, just like that one seemed to be on the board the longest. At least that's what
See, I got a little shiver.
They
when-
weren't psychics and.
Yeah, I know.
They're like-
I know. It's just like
It's just a coincidence.
again,
Yeah.
a year from now it'd be fine, but just
I had like
Anyway.
a shudder when the useless lady that's from the first one that did nothing but like cause shit to go wrong
Yeah.
popped
Scream.
up on the screen. I was like, forgot about her.
Flight of the
It
Navigator.
yeah.
So they revoke Ripley's status as a flight officer.
Now, I'd like to remind you all that in our RoboCop 50th episode, we had to go and do callbacks for all of our previous episodes. We got 100 episodes to do now, guys.
Oh man,
We got to really kick it into
A
gear.
lot, yeah.
that's a whole lot.
All right? I already knocked out Flight of the Navigator.
Oh man.
Just by saying the words "Flight of the Navigator."
I mean, do
Yeah, we could just
we only do the next 50, right? Not the
Huh?
ones after RoboCop. We would do
Yeah.
not the.
No.
Oh man.
That's
You
not
wanna
how
do
it
Gotta
works.
do all of them.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Alright, so should we take it back a step and instead of getting shudders, Joe could feel tremors?
Yes.
Yeah, done.
But if you nitpick too much, you'll start being a Beastmaster. Nobody wants that.
Oh, I can feel how
man.
forced all these are going to
Yeah.
be.
We'd
All
rather
right.
you be a master of the universe.
You are such a garbage pail
If
kid.
you keep that going, I'm gonna short circuit.
God damn it.
If only there was a place I can go to find like all our old episodes. I wonder where I can go.
Maybe one day such a magical place.
Maybe. You guys want to call in for a franchise fund?
And you say Colin?
Oh, I like that.
Oh, God, I hate myself.
All right,
So-
I'm gonna attempt to move this forward,
Who framed Roger Rabbit?
and I'm going to fail. All right, so we find out that LV-426, where they went in the first movie, has been colonized for 20 years.
Yes.
And they're like, yeah, nothing's wrong over there. Just because they haven't found anything yet, means it's got to be, safe over there.
Right.
And
then-
apparently, somehow, they've missed a massive spaceship that's been crashed in the side of this moon.
Well, it's not a moon, is it?
Planet?
I think it's a planet.
planet.
It's just not. It's
Okay.
not
No,
inhabitable.
it's a space station.
Space station now.
Wait, what is?
Star Wars joke. It's not a moon. It's not a planet.
Oh, that's
Oh.
not one of our episodes, Joseph.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
You got to make an executive decision to be better about these things.
All
Yeah,
right.
I mean, and,
Well, it's like
Rum.
it was the size of the moon in the last Starfighter, so it was really tiny.
no, but
Or that ship was really big.
yeah, there you go. There you go.
Rob, you are on deadly ground.
Oh man.
Why are you saying movies that we haven't done?
Oh, I mean, they're a hard target to pin down, Rob. Fuck it, whatever. They're all the same movie.
Tony,
Whatever.
before this is over, you will pray for death.
Far too late for that, Joe. All right.
I mean, it's all could have been handled if they just like drill down to the core and like blew the planet up. It would have handled this movie. Like,
I forgot about that one.
yeah.
That was terrible. Terrible movie.
Sure
So,
was.
yeah. It is, I mean, it's a large alien spaceship, but it is an entire planet. I can understand that maybe.
Full of gray rocks that are kind of pokey like the spaceship.
Yeah, plus it looked like a real shitty place to be, so they probably don't venture out too often if they don't
Yeah,
have to.
for
and-
sure.
Well, as far as I can tell, people work there that just drive cars around all day, and if they find shit, it's theirs, I guess.
It's like it's an entire colony of King Ralphs. So they're just. So they call it a shake and bake colony, I guess, because they're just setting up
Nah, hell.
Popeye's chickens
Yes.
restaurants.
Yeah, they colonize an entire planet of Popeye's
Yeah.
chicken.
So it's in the process of terraforming. So it's like you could breathe outside, but the weather's bullshit all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in Highlander 2, like the
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oof. Okay.
So yeah, we cut to LV-426 in the town of Hadley's Hope. Population 158.
Correct.
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
There's a family out surveying, looking for shit to salvage.
Was it the Jordan family?
Yeah.
I believe is their last name.
Interestingly enough, the sister brother or Rebecca and Timmy. That's my roommates and her brother.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, they're like, oh look, alien spaceship. Let's go in here.
Yeah, now this is some bullshit, right?
Mm-hmm.
First piece of bullshit is they call back to the station and like we don't see this part, but we hear about it. They're like, oh, people found something weird. They're wondering about salvage rights if they can call it theirs or not. And the guy's like, look, I don't give a fuck. Like you find it, it's yours. Fuck it, go nuts. Which wouldn't fucking happen. Like it would not fucking happen. Like this company would want all rights to anything found so they can make profit off it.
Well, but he knows maybe like the company will just overrule them if they want it.
True.
The company will probably just take it.
Yeah. So these two fuckers, these kids' parents, they're like, stay in the car, kids. I think she even says, like, stay in the car. And we're going to check this out. We're
gonna leave our kids here in the truck while we venture into some, this hostile planet where we find this busted ass ship that's just lying here. God knows what's in it.
We're like, make sure there's no Stallones in that truck. Otherwise, an over the top will break out.
Instead, they stumble right into, the first Alien movie. Just kind of find its origins there.
I like how the movie's
Wolverine.
just like, you guys know the drill. There's a face hugger.
Yeah.
They don't
She
have to
comes
show
back
it.
eventually. The guy's got a face hugger on.
But I like it because even if you haven't seen the first movie, like you get enough. It shows you later on in the movie what that comes from. Where like you're still wondering, like, what is that? Oh fuck, what is that thing? Like it still answers your questions, but it doesn't need to right now. Like it's good. I like it.
Yeah.
So then what should we call it? That's when Burke and Lieutenant Gorman come to visit Ripley.
Oh, first, just a quick side note: when the guy's bitching about the rights issue or whatever, it's because they got a anonymous call or whatever from somebody in the company. So first
The
little
Shadow?
seedlings, huh?
The Shadow.
Yes, it's
It's
the
Dick
Shadow.
Tracy.
I missed that part. I thought that came from the two parents, but that came from Burke. You're saying?
Yeah, Burke called in the site. The two parents then were sent out to check it, and that's why they were like,
okay.
Are we going to get to keep this? Because this guy called it in or whatever. But he's like, the guy's not claiming anything, so whatever, it's yours.
He's like, whatever's over there, bring it back to the town.
Yeah. But your first little inkling that somebody's fucking around here. So yeah, Burke then visits Ripley with the lieutenant, right? They're like, we need your help for this mission.
She's just like slams the door, like, nope.
Yeah, fuck.
Absolutely. I would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, rightly so.
Any Paul Reiser looking motherfucker comes to my house, I'm gonna pretend I'm not home.
Pretty much standard operating procedure.
But like, it only gets worse from there because they're like, yeah, we lost contact with that moon base we were just telling you about on that station that you said had aliens and whatever. What we said was totally fine. It's not anymore. So
She's just like, really?
yeah, no shit.
The fuck that got to do with me?
You busted me down to work in the docks and the power loader. Like I don't give a shit what you got going on.
But he's like, no, like, so you have experience with this stuff, so we want you to go with the Marines to check this out. She's like, I know what the fuck is there. It's death. I'm not going. Fuck you.
Like, listen, we need your help because there's big trouble in Little China.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
So they finally convince her to go, which again, I don't know how.
Well, she only reason why she doesn't agree to go this scene, she has more nightmares. I think in her head, she's like, I can't get closure to this until I know that they're destroyed.
They're dead, yeah. So
she asks him, like, she calls Burke. She's like, are you going to destroy them or are you going to like keep them? He's like, we're going to destroy them. Yeah, sure. What you said.
Naive on her part, because like you had to know he's like not going to destroy him.
Yeah, he answers the phone like, yeah, we're going to destroy him. Sure thing, Mr. Homer.
Whatever you want.
Which again, like if that were me, I'd be like, here's a little pamphlet I wrote up on how to deal with aliens and what you're going to face. Have a great time. But she does end up going along, and this is where we meet the Marines. We get, everybody waking up in their little pods.
We get a cool tour of the Sulaco before everybody wakes up.
Oh yeah, it's camera's kind of roaming its way through there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now just to preface this for everybody out there, we did watch the director's cut version of the movie.
Yeah, several of these scenes were not in the original.
So some of the stuff might be a little different than you remember if you've only seen the theatrical release, if whatever.
So I'm pretty sure in the theatrical release you don't see Newt until she's saved.
Right, yeah, they cut out that whole part where they first go to
with
visit
the parents
the
and everything.
derelict
Yeah.
ship.
But also, a fun side note here: the pods were very expensive to make, so I think they only had like 4 or 5 of them, and they just set up set up mirrors in front of the camera, so that it looked like there was a whole shit ton of pods there for all the guys.
Oh,
Smart.
really?
Yeah.
Well, that was smart.
But they wake up and they're, we see the ragtag group that we're going to be dealing with here. You got Hudson and Hawk and who else is in the...
Wow.
Well played.
Holy smokes.
Hey, you said it. Just playing your game here.
Oh man.
But you got Vasquez, doing some chin-ups or whatever on some random bars.
You got Drake, who has like the world's second biggest boner for her.
Yeah.
For real. He's her hype man.
Yeah.
Her Flavor Flav.
They're like super buddies. I mean, she's like, I'm the last dragon. He's like, oh, I have a dragon heart.
Yeah, it's like Mac and me.
Yeah, but she's a bit of a problem child because Drake is, I don't know,
They're coming in hard and heavy now.
she's got a bit of a dragon heart. You know what I'm saying? So like
Already
Drake
used that one.
Is beat you to it.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Is Drake like her hype man, or is he just there to keep putting shoe polish on her skin?
Wow. You care to elaborate on that one?
Like, she's not Latino.
Hold on a second. How's that snack, Tony?
It's good.
So Tony has taken a fudge round and a crispy num num, whatever this Star Crunch, what they're called.
Star Crunch.
Star Crunch.
The Star Crunch inside the fudge round, and it makes this awesome goodness.
Next level fat
Yeah.
chat moves.
It's delicious.
I want to do
Thanks
that,
for the
but
idea,
I can't
Brian.
do that because if I have that, it'll make my eyes sweat.
Okay. I'm
Like,
sweating right now.
No, you get that cold sweat around the edges of your eyes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Apparently, maybe I have diabetes.
I was gonna say, do you got diabetes?
I should get.
When's the last time you've been tested?
I should have the turtle check me out. So I don't know, like I just have like one bite of that and it would be too much for me, like too much sugar. My body would just be like, no.
You gotta take it in one bite the way like an anaconda would. Just like,
That's true.
Then regurgitate it and
Yeah.
just so you can
Like
bite
the
it again.
anaconda would. Yeah,
Just like John Voight would.
wink at you.
Oh.
Ha Hey baby. No, so what's her name?
Jeanette
Weinstein.
Oh,
Jeanette Goldstein.
Goldstein is definitely not Latino. And that thought was shattered for me when I saw another James Cameron film, Terminator 2, because I believe she plays the foster mother in that film.
Probably. I don't know.
And I was like,
I'm clueless about that one. I don't know.
she is not Latino. But I have to say, she does a really good job
Yeah.
in this. Like her accent doesn't sound fakey. Like it sounds natural.
Yeah.
It sounds like,
Well, she does have many lines, and like,
yeah, but like even the lines that she does have, like,
They're also smartly not having her like lay into it too
yeah,
much.
it's not meant to be a focus at all. Like,
well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like she does a good job being subtle with it. Even if you watch, like, I mean, I don't think she's dead at this point, but if you hear like Rosie Perez, even you'd be like, I don't think she's real. Like this lady, I believed.
Okay, all right.
I don't believe her in Titanic as the Irish lady. That's a terrible accent.
Yeah.
But this accent, I believe.
I don't understand why they didn't just hire a Latina actress.
We weren't ready yet, Joe.
I guess not.
As a society,
Yeah.
Joe Pesci's The Super had taught us to still be racist.
We're still we're like 4 years away from the super or something like that.
Yeah. Right now, he's still just my cousin Vinny.
Gone fishing.
Yeah.
So we get the great line of, hey Vasquez, have you ever been mistaken for a man?
No.
No,
Have you?
Oh shit.
Now she was
that's
talking.
because you're a bad one.
You're too bad.
Oh, you're too bad. That's what it is. You're too bad.
Yeah, Drake's got to come in and give her some props.
Which I did hear reportedly there's supposed to be like a whole backstory to the two of them where they grew up together or some such business. It never, as far as I can tell, it's never addressed in the movie, so
it doesn't count.
It doesn't really matter, yeah. But anyway.
So clearly, it's obvious at this point these Marines are a bunch of heavyweights.
Oh shit.
Mm-hmm. They're hard hitters.
Yeah.
Yep.
But what happens next? I don't remember.
Oh, so this is when they assemble for the briefing. No, I'm sorry. This is mealtime. This is when they're just kind of bullshitting with each other, talking about poontang. They're like, Bishop, do the knifey fingers.
Yeah.
And yeah, fun story with this. Lance Henriksen just practiced that to be able to do it. I mean, obviously he can't go that fast. They did speed
They
it
sped it up.
Yeah.
No, they
definitely sped that up.
Not all of it, but there are some scenes of it where it's just sped up. If you see the people around them, they move a little faster.
Yeah, when he starts, that's him.
That's
but
him.
by the end, when he's really like nailing it, it's
okay. They said in a Comic-Con panel one time that that was just all him.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
well
no,
he
he
did
did
it.
it, but
they
they
just
sped
sped it
the
up to
film
look
up.
faster.
He can still do it pretty damn fast. And because he didn't know what the knife prop was going to be, he did it with like a whole bunch of different knives to get ready. And then finally, they just sprung that the last minute on Bill Paxton. Like he just didn't know he was going to be involved.
Yeah.
That was real screams. Like,
Yeah, like when those guys just kind of grabbed his arm and put it out there, they were really doing that to him. It's just like, wait, what?
That's funny because like in the first Alien, the whole scene with the thing popping out, they didn't tell any of them about that, right?
No,
Yeah.
that was awesome.
It was a real reaction.
Like I'm glad I wasn't on that set. I gotta be real.
Well, they knew something was happening. They just weren't sure
like,
the how.
They had read the
exactly.
script. They knew something was gonna pop out, but like they didn't tell them that they had rigged this dude with all
his
this
chest to
all
explode.
this blood and like pork
They
innards.
set John Hurt to blow.
Like for real, and it just like went off in the flight of the navigator lady.
Yeah.
Just went off in her face.
Yep.
She got sprayed in the eye with blood.
Oh,
and I think
man.
she even fell down or something.
Yeah,
Like, one of them fell down, like slipped on the
I don't
blood.
think it
or
was
something.
her. Yeah, I was thinking it was one of the others, but
Oh man,
She lost her
Hey.
shit though. She's just like, oh god.
you can't mess around with filming like that. It's a real cutthroat island.
Oh.
Oh boy.
All right. So now, oh yeah. So this is when Bishop comes over to say hi to Ripley. She's like, "Don't you talk to me."
Yeah,
Get that cornbread out of my face.
she sees he's leaking milk. So she's like, "Fuck that shit."
She is lactose intolerant.
And then
Sure is.
shitty Burke is just like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. Synths are on all the ships. It didn't even occur to me to tell you."
How could I not remember?
Yeah.
that?
After Bilbo Baggins attempted to shove a magazine down
He
your
rolled up a
throat.
magazine.
I still don't get like how that was supposed to work.
I don't know.
Crazy robot.
I
don't
mean,
know.
yeah, I'm sure it would kill you, but he could probably have done something more efficient than that.
I mean, yeah, he was an android. You think you could just like break your neck or
Yeah.
like something, but no, rolled up newspaper, man. That's the way to
That
go.
was the best of the best idea he can come up with. So, I mean,
It was scary as crap though, because
Some was
like
the
you
best of
watch
the
it
best, too.
and you feel like you're suffocating watching that crap.
Maybe he had to do that. Like that was some loophole he found in the laws of robotics. Like he was like, enlightening her with some new knowledge or
She's
something.
gonna hold her mouth open and like pour Ovaltine down her throat until she died.
So
but Bishop like Iron Giant style. He's like, I can't hurt people. I'm not a gun. I can't hurt
no,
people.
he straight up quotes one of Asimov's laws of
Yeah,
robotics.
I can't hurt you or by not doing anything, let anything hurt
So
you.
what would have happened if he cut Bill Paxton's finger?
Well,
his
James
head-
Cameron would have yelled "cut," and they would.
Would his head have caught fire? Malfunction.
But yeah, so she's upset because they brought this giant mnemonic on board, and she's not a fan. But they're like, "Don't worry about him. He's not going to be a problem. Everything's cool. Let's gather so we can talk about the mission."
Yeah, and that's when we get the briefing scene where the aliens are like, we're real cool. I mean, not the aliens. The Marines are like, we're real cool.
The aliens were doing that too.
They're off in the background, like, we're cool.
Smoking. Like, yo, dude.
In all
I'm
fairness,
awesome.
that's what they were trying to say the whole movie.
Yeah.
But like when they talk by eating. So like, it's kind of hard to communicate that way.
One of the aliens is chilling in the
Yeah, well, so do
alleyway,
we.
wearing his
True.
leather. He's like, whatever.
So we're doing callbacks to jokes on
Yeah,
the podcast?
Sorry.
So Hudson's just an ass.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. And they're like not impressed by Ripley talking about a creature with acid for blood that burst out of your chest. I would at least be like, let's hear what she has to say.
Like for real. Like
Well, to be fair, I got the impression that on many missions they've been sent searching for aliens and just like found nothing. Or it's kind of like
it's another bug hunt.
yeah, it's kind of like ghost hunters. They're just like, oh, this person got a ghost in their house. I bet it's just like an old faucet that makes noise in the
Don't
night.
you mean like ghost hunters where they hear every noise and poop their pants?
Well, I don't mean the show Ghost Hunters.
Oh, okay.
That, but with pulse rifles.
I think I saw that rocking chair move. Kill it.
Bring up the flame unit.
Well, like one thing who was it? Hudson? No, Bill Paxton's character.
Hudson.
Hudson, Hudson. He keeps saying like bug hunt, and in my mind, I'm like, have they really found these before? Like
They
is it?
found something.
Because then the leader dude says, xenomorphs. They have names for them and shit like that. And I'm like, that sounds like they've experienced something like this before. Like, why are they just?
Well, they probably run into alien. Obviously, they've run into alien life because they have a propensity for alien poontang. But,
Oh, okay. All right.
but I mean, they probably run into situations where they were hunting basically Bigfoots or something before.
Yeah, and the Sergeant Casper Van Dien once told him about this whole story he had where he had to go out and fight a bunch of bugs.
Oh, we're gonna watch that one of these days.
Dude, I would love to see the
I'm a
Colonial
roll
Marines
20,
against
yeah.
those
I'm
guys.
a-
Oh
pick that
god, that would be our fucking route.
Well, on which side?
Well, no, the troops from Starship Troopers would just stand in a circle around one Colonial Marine and fire full auto and shoot each other.
Yes.
Kind of like they did in Escape from LA.
Yeah,
Indeed,
true,
yeah.
true.
Tony's on fire here.
Oh yeah.
All right, so I
As long as I remember the ones we did, not just the movies in my head. But anyway,
I forgot exactly what Hudson says, but Apone, who perpetually has a cigar in his mouth, is like, "Secure that shit, Hudson." I just love the way he said that.
How do I get out of this chicken shit?
Oh, that's what it
outfit?"
is. I'm going to remind one of my employees to secure their shit.
You should. Well, you should.
I like the scene also ends with him just going, "Get your ass over here, bitch!" like you're in so much trouble.
You heard the man, and you know the drill. Assholes and elbows. Let's go.
Everyone just elbows their neighbor right in the ass.
Oh,
Sir, do you mean up to the elbow or?
Oh God! Forming some weird human centipede here. What's happening?
Yes, exactly.
This is where we find out that Ripley in fact has been well trained and a power loader.
Well, more
Get some
importantly,
foreshadowing.
this is where we find out again that Ripley is not going to take shit even from these stupid Marines.
yeah.
She's like, laugh if you want. I'm going to come over and punch every one of you in the dick, even you ladies. And just like, this is what happened. This is real. I've seen that leprechaun. Everybody else has seen leprechaun. Say yeah.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus!
I want the gold. Give me the gold.
Oh, don't be Scrooged.
Like, I really do just wish someone was like, you know what, she's been right. Well, actually, at this point, they don't have verification of it yet.
right.
But it comes very quickly. They get verification that Ripley is right.
But can't you just see the fire in her eyes?
No, but like her experience has changed her. Like from
yeah.
the first movie to this one, like she's like Terminator
Amazing.
2,
yeah.
the mom. She's like, I forgot what the character's name, whatever. Sarah Connor. She's like different in the second movie because she's like, yo, I gotta handle my own shit because no one's gonna fucking believe me.
At this point, I do have to talk about Sigourney Weaver because, like, she doesn't even have to remind you to secure your shit. Like, one of her death stares Your shit's secure.
Yeah.
And she's got like 24-hour death stare
Yeah.
going on.
And it's not even like the same death stare. Like she has several in her arsenal.
She's got some friends on board with her, and their names are PTSD.
For her, it's only been like a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since
She went to sleep and woke up.
Not just that, but like, forget even death stares. She's just like, you can mock me all you want. I'm gonna be badass over here, like just doing shit. Like again with the power loaders, just like I know how to use one of those. You need some help? Let me be useful. And like, I'm
Bones
doing
like
stuff.
this is funny somehow. Ha ha ha.
I wish there was like a edit somewhere where in the scene she's like, which of us will be alive at the end? Raise your hand.
She's like, my daughter just died, and I die every time I close my eyes. So,
Nope, Hudson, put your hand down.
No.
I mean, you get far. You get pretty far.
So yeah, this is when you just see the Marines get ready to fight, and they're like, it is just a badass assembly scene where they're all like putting gear on and filing out.
Yeah.
And like Apone's just yelling, and the testosterone is just oozing off of these people.
Well, like again, this is Bill Paxton. Like they're getting loaded they're loading into this tank that's then loaded into this mini plane that's gonna drop out of the bigger ship, and like he's just walking around making sure everybody's secure, and he's like, "Look at me, yeah, look at me, yeah." Like I don't even know what the hell he was talking about, but he just
doesn't
kept
even
saying
know.
like, "Look at this."
He
look
loves
at
him
me.
some Bill
yeah,
Paxton
look at
right now.
this."
Fucking Chet.
That's probably all ad-libbed.
Yeah, probably.
It might be. He does claim most of his stuff was ad libbed.
I believe it.
Including the
Yeah.
famous.
I mean, most of
Game
it's
Over
just
Man.
him cussing. Like, you want some of this? Beep, 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 beep.
So like everything in this scene is just fucking cool. Like their guns are awesome. The pulse rifle was wanted one when I was a kid.
For real.
Yeah, this APC's cool, even though it's just a thing that moves airplanes around that they bought from an airport. And then like the dropship's friggin' awesome, and like I love the tactical station that the lieutenant has that has like all their vitals and the cameras and all that hooked up to it.
Yep.
Yeah, they're like, and then the smart guns are real cool.
Yeah.
They got these machine guns that are held in place by arms, set to a harness.
If I can make a plea
Yep.
to anyone listening out there that might be related to or have connection to the Mega Constructs company owned by Mattel.
Oh god.
I own several of your Alien micro action figures, and it'd be just swell to my heart if you were to make some like an APC or dropship or Queen's Nest.
Dropship that the APC can fit inside.
Yes, specifically, yes. I would pay multiples of hundreds of dollars. Just saying. I've spent more for less.
Oh,
So cute, dick.
Come on, baby.
Make it do. All right, that's all.
So anyway,
End rant. Beg.
the Marines get their gear on, they get their weapons on, they get all locked and loaded. They're ready to go run through the jungle or the Congo. They're ready to tango and cash.
Wow.
Sorry.
They're locked and loaded, cocked and choded.
So they go heading in.
It's express elevator to hell.
Yes.
You got Vasquez has her bandana on like Rambo.
That's
Like specifically Rambo 3.
it's got her makeup tucked in it. She just wipes it back.
She's just got like one of those makeup pads underneath, so when she sweats, it drips more down on
Yeah,
her face.
it's a little brown.
Tropic Thunder style, like
Yeah.
Otherwise, she's gonna look like the Joker in the 1989 Batman.
that still is like one of my favorite memes right now because Black Panther's coming out next year. But there's one. It's like Robert Downey Jr. Wants to be in Black Panther but has no reason to be, and it's like it goes from Tony Stark to the dude from Tropic Thunder. It's like
Who's really he's legit only like 2 shades darker. He's not even that like I don't know.
no, it was blackface.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not trying to say it wasn't. I'm just saying it just wasn't very good. It wasn't very convincing.
No, what it was supposed to be.
What do you
No,
mean,
I
you
know, I
people?
get it.
What do you mean, you people?
That's the theme song of the Jeffersons.
Oh god. So yeah, this is also where it gets kind of where I question the thing about the bullets you were talking about, because we do have, when she says, 10 seconds till landing, it's 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And later on, when they say whatever 20 minutes
16.
or 10 minutes, 16 minutes till the 16 minutes, it does
Everything is exactly timed.
Yes.
I checked the 10-second one the second time I watched it.
Yeah.
It straight up checks out. So this dropship is awesome. When it gets, into the atmosphere, it's like I have missiles everywhere. It turns into like a G.I. Joe vehicle.
Now, to me, it looked like
mask. Sorry.
it looked like one of the things from Terminator, like the one of the ships out of that. Like,
You've got the parts to do it, Mega Constructs. I know you do. I'm just saying.
Well, that's the thing. Even if it wasn't just a repurposed prop, it's inspired by the same guy.
Yeah.
So
Video games fans out there would recognize what was her name? It's Pharaoh, the lieutenant piloting the dropship, is just the pilot for the dropship in StarCraft.
Yeah.
Like the quotes and everything.
Yeah,
it's
I know.
just her. Like like I think when she says like into the pipe 5x5,
Yep.
the dropship straight up says that.
nice.
And I have lost the cap to my Mountain Dew.
Oh, no.
oh no,
Oh shit.
don't unplug shit to get it.
I'm gonna.
Nobody
So
else say nothing. Let's just sit in silence until Joe gets his bottle cap.
Oh,
Crisis averted. So yeah, this dropship flies out into the great outdoors. Over a deep blue sea.
Oh god. Well done, Joe.
oh man.
So yeah, they head on out into this where are we? This
It's pretty much a Battlefield Earth at this point.
you're forcing it.
I am forcing it. so
He's
hard.
forcing it.
So yeah, there's a giant terraformer. It's the atmosphere processor.
The Terraformer. That's
Yeah.
the word I was looking for.
Yep.
Yeah, because they sense.
It looks like the gate to Jurassic Park.
The Lost World.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. Isla Nublar. Not Isla Sorna. Wait, which one's which? No.
Oh, he hurt his head.
Oh dear.
I've had too much margarita.
Oh,
I don't know
man.
my Jurassic Parks.
Oh no.
Go on without me.
All that's important is we reference the one that we needed to.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are we even doing? Oh yeah, so we basically just get the tour of the whole place on the flyby on the dropship.
Yep.
And then, they just land and drop the APC. And here's what I don't get. So they're like, all right, Pharaoh, stay on standby, in case we need you. Why didn't they raise the ramp to the dropship? Close the doors?
Good question.
That is a very good question.
Yeah.
I guess maybe that's what being standby is staying open. So if they come flying in,
But I would think that door would be
tank?
pretty easy to lower. Like, it wouldn't take long to get it down.
Yeah.
So,
And like you would see them coming.
yeah. And like, what if that ship needs to take off and pick them up somewhere else? Like
it does.
yeah, like it does. So like, they would close the damn door anyway.
That's fair.
I don't know. There's a few questions I have at this point though with the whole setup here, because you're like, these guys look badass, but there is only 10 Marines
Correct.
going to this whole colony.
Correct.
And like they sent the entirety of everyone on that ship is now down on the planet.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, there's some things that like wouldn't quite have happened because they wouldn't have sent down Ripley or Burke until it was secure.
Yeah.
You know
Like
what I
you
mean?
think they'd be on the other dropship.
Right.
Yeah.
They'd be back at the base,
Yeah.
monitoring or whatever.
And I would think the other dropship would probably have its own crew that would stay on the ship.
Yeah.
But I think though,
But this is 80s future.
yeah. And I think Burke probably set it up so there weren't that many Marines going.
It's entirely possible.
Yeah. If like, because he was killing them is in the cards. So like,
Well, yeah, I mean, they kind of set it up as a wild goose chase from the start.
yeah.
So they probably weren't going to dedicate that much time or manpower to it.
But it's like if you're sending a whole starship out there, it's like you might as well bring like a starship's worth of guys.
Was the whole starship though? Like,
I don't know. The Slugger looked pretty big.
Yeah, they had a good sized ship, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it is 80s future. That could have just been engine.
Yeah, I mean, it might have been something like most of it is the engine and that cargo bay. Anyway,
possible.
yeah. So
so they enter this factory or whatever. They go to the underworld, and they find in the bottom basement. They're like, "Oh, this is we're getting readings here from the town. It's like they're having a town meeting. Everybody's down here. What's up?"
Darkness fills my heart with pain.
Well, first they used the motion trackers to track a hamster, or several hamsters,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
wow.
and a
Some
soggy
lab
donut.
rats.
Soggy biscuit, Joe.
Soggy biscuit. I thought it was a donut. Anyway,
It was a donut.
yeah.
Oh god.
All right, so they have found some acid burns in the floor,
Yes.
and at that point, it's like, okay, maybe what this lady's saying is true.
You would think.
Yeah, maybe we should just secure this area and call for more people or something.
You
What's the
think.
thing? Acid burns, maybe you're not going to make that whole connection, the acid blood, whatever thing. But at the very least, she says there's there's something dangerous down there, and all the people are missing. Maybe we should be better prepared.
You know what else? I would be like, hey, can we stop for a second and maybe go down to the bottom of one of those holes? Because I bet there's a dead alien down there.
Just drop the camera down. Go ahead.
Or a really angry, injured one.
Yeah. He just corroded too far into the floor and he can't climb out.
Well,
He's
his
healed
little
by now.
No, because his little hands got ripped off, so he's just down there going, I can't get
Just
up.
got nubs.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Oh.
Trying to slap his little life alert with his second mouth.
Yeah.
But that point is rendered moot when, like, they secure the area and the lieutenant and Burke and Ripley come in and they go to the med lab and there's just straight face huggers there.
Yep. Live ones.
Yeah. It's like, oh, there they are.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
I was right.
There's those penis hands I was talking about.
And this is really, like, I know it wouldn't be much of a movie, but this is when Burke should be like, okay, let's take those back on the ship. Come back with more people. Done.
Yeah.
I guess, but I mean, Ripley would never let that happen.
She wouldn't.
Oh, look at these 10 Colonial Marines I brought with me.
Yeah, but I mean, going by how the movie ended, she could have taken them all.
This is true.
But Burke doesn't know that.
No,
Yeah.
but
at
he would have
this
been the
point-
first to die.
But
She would have snapped his neck
Yeah.
and used his body as a weapon to kill the rest of the Marines.
Well, I know they mentioned something about a quarantine that this would never get through.
Yes. And he basically gives away his plan when he says that. He's like, how can they prevent something that they don't know is there? Which basically says, I was going to sneak it inside people,
Yeah.
as they do.
I
See,
don't know.
this way, like, he would have fucked up, though, because, like, they would have been aliens well before they got to...
Not if they were in hypersleep.
yeah.
I suppose.
Well, that was his whole plan. Like he was gonna have them impregnated, put them in hypersleep, and then like sabotage the Marines' sleep chambers while they were on their way, and then just say like jettison them into space and be like, "Oh yeah, we're the only ones to make it out."
Yeah. It's just me and Sigourney Weaver, and we need to get her through customs real fast before her stomach explodes. And the surprise comes out.
You'd think he would tell like someone in the company it's like, hey, I'm gonna come back with something that we need to get through quarantine. Or, maybe meet me somewhere on the way back.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because the company can redirect ships kind of on a whim while the crew is still asleep. So it'd just be like, all right, hey, redirect a ship somewhere and have people waiting to take it.
Very true. Very true.
I don't know.
So now we get a motion sensor going off.
Yep.
And they're like, whoa, I thought we scared the place.
So Drake's reaction is correct. Because it's obviously a little girl running across the tunnel. Like, it's not even like motion blurred or whatever. And he's like, fuck it, just opens fire.
They're coming right for us.
Like, I do want to say, like, these Marines in this movie, as it goes on, show themselves to not be the A-team.
No,
Like, they're not the A-team. Some of them are. Like, some of them are awesome. But there's a good portion of these 10 that are only here because awesome people. Because they were hooked on to awesome people, not because they were awesome themselves.
Well, yeah, the herd gets thinned pretty quick.
Yeah, real quick.
You find out, who's the men and who's the boys.
Yeah, you find out who ends up being a kid in King Arthur's court.
Yeah.
So, Hicks pushes the smart gun out of the way so Drake doesn't just murder an innocent child.
Rob, when it comes to putting these in subtly, you are clueless.
I already did that one.
Did you?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry.
You are clueless.
Oh,
Don't listen to Brian.
We can give you some pills to take, some shots so you get smarter, like Lawnmower Man.
no.
Isn't it enough that I have all the pills that give me no emotions, like an equilibrium?
Ugh.
Don't be a sense offender.
I know people who still defend that movie to this day, and I'm just like, ugh.
I mean, okay.
Ugh.
Imagine the Colonial Marines versus that, evil empire. They'd fuck them up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, all right. So we get a chase of this girl through the air ducts. She's spent her time, I guess, hoarding all the stuffed animals in this entire base.
Why not?
Well,
It's fair.
Those are her only friends.
That room's probably real comfy to sleep in.
Are you upset that she's being too selfish and she should share them with all the other dead children?
Yeah. No, her actions are valid.
Yeah.
Where does she poop?
I thought the
Wherever
same thing.
she wants.
Honestly, because Ripley chases her into her little
Yeah.
den, and I'm like, it should smell like death in that room, unless she goes somewhere else to poop. Like,
She probably does.
She just poops through one of the grates. In the floor.
you know what? There was a one of the grates did have some weird brown substance over it. Like,
that water that she's in later in the movie.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that's all feces.
It's all her.
ugh.
So now at this point,
Gray water.
Hudson, who's been searching for all the colonists' data transmitters that they get implanted in them, he's like, oh yeah, there they all are at the atmospheric processor, hanging out in this one spot.
Hanging out, having a party.
Hanging out with their family.
Yeah, meanwhile, Sigourney Weaver is talking to this little vampire, trying to introduce herself to her doll, which some of this was kind of cute. I don't think it's here, but later on when she's just like, it's just a doll.
Yeah, I like how the
thought it was
girl's
kinda funny.
she's weirdly pragmatic with certain things.
Yeah. Like, did you have a mom or dad? They're dead, all right.
Dead,
Like,
damn.
fuck, all right.
And
calm down.
not
They
for
died
nothing,
first.
but going we very recently did Nightmare on Elm Street, and that was not even me trying to name drop. I'm just saying,
Sorry, but no.
the child acting in this film is far and away better than everyone. Jonathan Depp, so much better. This little girl can act.
Speaking of brown face.
She's got some chops.
Wait, what?
Sorry. Johnny
Tonto.
Depp. Yeah, Tonto.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean,
Or
here's the thing.
Pancake face, I guess, would
Is
be
it
better.
Is it really racist if nobody sees it? I don't know.
If the clan meets in the woods. Like, what?
I was just commenting more on the fact that movie bombed so hard.
Yeah, I did.
But anyway.
So
But you can pay us to see it.
they all
That's true.
pile in the APC and go driving off to the processor. And again, red flags. Like, you get in the processor, you're going down there, and you just see this HR Giger organic resin crap all over the walls.
First of all, the fact that everyone is gathered in this one spot in a place that seems otherwise desolate and messed up and everything. You got this girl that's, living like some little monster or whatever, living like some goonie in the pipe work. Like, something is definitely up with this. But yeah, then they go down there and they see all this organic matter, obviously nesting of some kind.
Then, to make this shit even worse, Ripley's like, oh yeah, if you breach anything in there with your bullets, it's basically a fusion reactor. It's gonna go off.
Because Ripley's the smartest person here.
Yeah.
And she goes, hey, what do you guys fire again in your guns? Like, are they regular bullets? Like, oh no, they're explosive rounds. And they, they hit things, they penetrate and explode. And she's like, if they hit one of those pipes, Boom.
Yeah, we're all gonna die. Which
Why was this not addressed before they even went to the planet's surface?
You would think, like, yeah, that would be addressed into like the tactical
It's like, hey,
makeup of the
this
mission.
place happens to be a giant nuclear reactor.
Yeah.
Because like not all of it, just that
Yeah.
one place is.
Yeah, but I mean,
not when they go to the surface, but before they went in there, that
Right.
should have been
If-
addressed.
if I'm setting up a mission like this, if part of the complex is, all of the complex is, as
Yeah.
far as I'm
Like
concerned.
what should have happened to be like, let's get some intel on the place we're about to go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
a reactor. Hey, maybe we shouldn't have these things when we bring it. when we
Also,
go to the
somebody who understands the nuclear reactor should be involved in the mission.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the one thing I do kind of have a problem with, where it's just, she's like, yeah, like, what kind of bullets are they firing? He's like, armor-piercing explosive, and like, because that's like a nuclear reactor, and he's like, and your point is, like, really, dude? Like, I mean, I'm not a rocket scientist, but I know what's we're good
Gorman
at here.
sucks. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of saying, "Oh, well, we have better rounds on the ship. Have everyone come back and we'll change rounds out,
Yeah.
and we'll make this work for this part." He goes, switch to your flamethrowers. Don't. Matter of fact, someone collect all the bullets.
Yeah, that's the kicker.
Yeah, like what, dude?
It's like-
what?
Yeah, it's like, no, go get out of there.
Yeah, leave. Let's go. You can go back in a minute. Like,
Reassess the situation. Yeah.
you get some new information you didn't know before. Let's reconvene and figure out our next step.
Yeah, I understand those colonists are in danger, but like, you're not gonna do anything when you get there.
Wave your arms at them. Hey, stop it! Like,
It's really like if Michael Bay spent all of Transformers sucking the military's dick, James Cameron spent most of his time going like, yeah, they're all stupid. Just the company sucks, the military sucks. It's just one lady or nothing.
But nope, they charge forward, and yeah, with that dude Frost holding all the bullets.
Yeah.
But what's his name? Vasquez and Drake have second magazines.
Yeah.
It's funny too. He collected like one magazine from everybody.
yeah.
Apparently, the pulse rifle one's all you need.
I guess.
well,
It
Joe,
does hold like 94 rounds with it.
maybe you can explain this. What was that Drake and
That I
Vasquez
was
had?
wondering too, because I'm like, is this gun firing solid projectiles? Because that didn't look like a magazine. It's
Yeah.
just like an adapter almost, or a battery.
Right.
So I don't know what the smart gun actually fires.
Yeah, I threw out that it might be a battery because this big ass gun they have is like strapped to their back. It's got a whole backpack to it, and that might even feed in the ammo. So maybe it's just take this battery out so you
Yeah.
can't use it.
It's more than a backpack. It has a steady arm attached to the hip
yeah.
as well. Like an arm comes out the left hip and attaches to the gun on the right. It's pretty.
You have a targeting reticle linked up to your
it's
your
pretty
eye.
dope.
The one thing the other thing I didn't get with the smart gun actually is I like the targeting reticle of your eye, but apparently it prohibits you from wearing a helmet. Like they didn't design a helmet that could work with it.
Yeah.
So like Vasquez is just wearing a bandana and Drake's wearing a little hat. And that's it.
Well, I think that's just because they're cool.
Yeah.
Well, was
probably
that
could've had
targeting? I thought that was like infrared.
No, all of them have infrared in their helmets. But for the smart gun, like you actually, because you don't ever look down the gun's
Oh, you're
sights.
talking about just specifically the smart
Yeah.
guns. Okay.
Yeah, so you have a reticle on your eye, so you just see where the gun's pointing.
I just assumed those were like spray and pray kind
Well, that too.
of devices.
Yeah,
Certainly is.
that's how they were using them.
Yeah. But like, so now we start seeing bodies.
Yeah, there's people all over the place. They're welded into the wall, basically. They're kind of like
They're
hanging off.
gooped.
Secreted into the wall.
Secreted into the
They're
wall.
gooped
That's-
on the wall.
Yeah. So they're they're mostly dead, if not fully dead. Well, they find one that's alive, and she's just immediately like, kill me now. Like, this is terrible. She's screaming and crying, and they're like, what's going on? She's convulsing, and sure enough, a little alien monster pops out of her chest.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime.
So-
yeah. Oh,
Have I done this storytelling with Rob before?
perhaps. I don't know what
Time when a
episode it was.
monster burst out of your chest.
So
Was it in Dracula Never mind.
Oh wait, no, I think I know the story you're about to talk about when you saw the end of Spaceballs. Okay, never mind.
You
that.
gotta elaborate. I don't know.
Was it you that saw like that scene in Spaceballs before you saw the movie Alien, and you had no idea the context, and it was just utterly terrifying?
Well, so I had seen Alien and I had seen Spaceballs. The scene from Spaceballs where the alien comes out used to scare me all the time, but I could watch Alien with no problem whatsoever. So I don't know if it was the fact that it was like in the context of a horror movie that I was just like more accustomed to
your
it.
guard was up.
And like Spaceballs was a comedy, so I'm like laughing, and then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, what's going on now? So I used to always be afraid of the alien scene in Spaceballs, but I was never afraid of the alien scene in Aliens or Alien.
So the moral of the story, Garbage Pail Kids still sucked.
Correct.
Still terrible.
Fear is not rational. Garbage Pail Kids is terrible.
Or rational.
Or rational. Home for the ugly.
Yeah, this one was there because of too many holes in the chest.
But
Goopy Chode came out of his solar plexus. He has to be in the Home for the ugly.
she is part of the Evil Dead. But so they set her on fire. They just start burning her.
As he should.
Oh yeah, totally understandable
It's a
reaction.
ginger, kill it with fire.
But now they're getting little pings because they started to make some noise.
Yeah, now we start seeing like the walls start moving, like see things moving around and stuff. It's kind of what's all this?
Again, I love some of these, like particularly when the one of the Marines, I forgot which one, but they're like, oh, the infrared, maybe it's not working, and like steps right by this wall, and you just see part of it just moves and stands up, and
Yeah, I think that was the medic, but I forgot her name.
yeah, I don't remember, but this alien jumps on her. I believe she sets Frost on fire by accident.
And the ammo.
and the
Yeah,
ammo,
and the ammo, yeah.
and sends him over the side of the ledge here and down the shaft. Because like you do.
But it is funny. What
Dietrich,
interesting
that's
to
her
know,
name.
The aliens, they never show them killing anyone. Like if you think of every time they interact with a person, it shows the mouth open and whatever, but then it cuts away before they actually interact with the person. So like it's just they never actually kill anyone. So it makes sense that they're actually are bringing them to be hosts for these bodies and stuff.
There's one definite
part.
attempted murder very, in the very end of the movie.
Well,
that
yeah,
one
yeah.
Alien makes, but
Yeah.
Well, I think,
At that point, it wasn't about reproduction anymore.
I think for the most part, like when you see the, they give that nasty smile and the little mouth comes out, that's like a instant kill. The rest of them are potentially dragging back to the nest, and it's probably more just a thing of trying to keep the R rating down.
Yeah, but like I said,
It
like,
works.
You can say instant kill, but they actually never show it. Like they
Yeah.
never actually show.
Yeah, either way, it's
They're like,
effective.
You saw Alien 1, you know how this works.
Right.
Yeah.
But like I saw this first. I saw it before I saw the first one.
I think I did too, actually. Where are we now? So yeah, the aliens are just wrecking shop.
Yeah.
Like one of them grabs Sergeant Apone, and like Gorman's just like, I need you to lay down suppressing fire with the flame units and retreat by squads back to the APC.
They took my staplers and I told them.
Yeah,
Yeah, Apon's like, what? I'm trying to not die. What?
Yeah.
Apone set the building on fire.
What'd you say about shooting the reactor? What? Okay.
And Ripley's like, fucking do something. Fucking do something.
And yeah, and then Vasquez and Drake are both like, fuck the orders, open fire.
Yep.
Hey, it works out for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also like here the guys, it was what's the sergeant or
Apone.
not Apone, or the colonel, I guess.
Hicks.
No, whoever the guy.
Talking about Gorman?
Gorman, that's the
He's a
one.
lieutenant.
Lieutenant. I can't keep track. But yeah, he's just like, oh, you should do the thing or whatever. Until Ripley like steps in and he's like, no, stop it! Like, dude, now you get like a backbone. What are you doing?
I do like how Burke's just like, yeah, you had your chance.
Yeah. Let the lady drive now.
Yeah,
And
she grabs the APC and she starts like tearing down these corridors, busting through walls and shit.
She does not care.
Yeah,
it's just
no fucks.
speed 2, baby. Sorry. There's no way I could have gotten that.
Okay,
in
but the
smoothly.
crashing through that one wall is cooler than any crash in Speed 2.
It is.
and takes 1/100th of the time
And budget.
and budget.
That fucking boat went through that whole town. Like, what the fuck?
For
Sorry.
no reason.
For no reason.
I still can't believe they spent $200 million on them.
Oh my god.
Expensive to fuck up a boat.
It's more than the Michael Bay Transformers movies cost.
That's $15 million
Some of
less
them.
than fucking King Kong, which is like 3 hours long and all special effects. Anyway, so
And worse than Kong and Skull Island.
yeah, so now they're retreating back when Drake ditches his smart gun and grabs a flamethrower, but Vasquez shoots an alien that's too close to him, and he gets all corroded up.
Yeah.
Acid face.
They gotta watch that splashback.
He's like, "Thanks for the team kill, fucktard," and sprays the flamethrower inside the APC. Yeah, so then Vasquez also throws down her smart gun, so now that both of their heavy weapons are gone.
Yeah.
And this is when the alien's like, "Hey, can I come in?" Hicks is like, "Here's a shotgun in your face." And I think that burns Hudson a little bit.
Hudson's like closing the door at the time, so
Yeah.
it gets him in the arm.
Yeah.
I like the just the stakes in this movie are higher than the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
But like the first movie, they had no guns.
Yep.
So one alien was enough to like be super tense the whole fucking time because
Yeah.
they didn't have any of these ways to deal with
Also,
it.
like completely different genres of movies.
Yeah, for real.
Like,
Well, yeah, and I like that the Marines are getting their licks in. Like they've killed at least as many aliens as they've lost.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
More than that, probably. Yeah, to kill a lot of aliens.
Yeah. And I like that, like, there's a relationship, like, where it's not just the alien has all the power. It's like, if you catch the alien dead to rights, you know, not in cover with that pulse rifle, he's
Yeah,
done.
It's done.
But you're gonna get acid to the face.
Yeah. But but that alien, he could climb on walls. He can, he's in the ceiling. He's coming out of nowhere, bursting out your chest. He did.
Yeah.
Coming out of the toilet. You never know where their alien's going to come from.
Hide your wife, hide your kids, hide your husband.
Especially in my apartment.
So anyway, we get back to the surface.
Yeah. So they're-
Eventually.
Ripley's like, "I'm going to drive this thing forever."
yeah, I'm homeward bound now. So fucking
Well,
out.
like we do mention she's kind of down in there and just like I can't back up and I don't know where I'm going. So all right,
He's
let's
like,
go this
"That's all
way."
right. You destroyed the axle, so
Yeah.
we're not going anywhere."
Yeah. We're now stranded, thanks.
Which is like when she first busts through the wall, they're like, "Oh, this side is stuck, or whatever. We have to go around, or something like that." And it's like, yeah, why didn't you back up? Like,
She couldn't. She couldn't.
she couldn't at
All the turns she had to make to get down to where they were on that tiny ass
with that big ass APC.
big ass ABC. Like
I don't mean like back up all the way out. Like once she busted the hole in the wall so they could escape, she could have backed it out a little so they could
ceiling
get
would
around
collapse.
the thing.
oh okay, all right. I thought you meant like back out of the complex.
No,
Like,
no,
there was
no.
no way that was happening.
No, and
Yeah.
there's not enough points for that turn to turn
Yeah.
the APC around.
Oh yeah, no, turning around to go back the way you came.
It'll be
definitely
like
not.
Austin Powers, where it's like the whole length of the whole
Just keep
slam it into the two walls.
Until like the walls eventually bend.
I do love that one alien though that's like, "I'm gonna get you," and like tries to reach his hand in through the window.
Yeah.
Does the old slam on the brakes and run him over. That probably cost the APC its axle.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Probably,
that's
yes.
what did it. Yeah. But so now we're out, and he's like, "It's cool. We got away. We're gonna wait for this other for the drop ship to come."
I'm
pick
sorry,
us
don't
up."
you mean ease down, ease down, ease down, ease down, ease down.
I don't get the reference.
That's basically what Hicks said.
Yes,
So-
it's
Oh,
quoting the
okay.
movie.
Oh,
Just kept
shit.
repeating that.
movie we
At
just
some
watched.
point, yeah. Now, granted, I mean, the whole time she's still just like
Yeah.
on the APC with no
Freaking
axle.
the fuck out. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't blame her.
So
You're probably on your period. But just
The views and opinions expressed by Margarita Robb are those of his and his alone, not the rest of the 4AM podcast. Just keep that in mind.
Lieutenant Gorman's just like, "You guys got this. I'll knock myself out."
It's like, if anybody
What the
wants
hell
me,
is this?
I'll be in a pile over here.
I think it was just standing there. It was like, what? I haven't been useless enough? Okay, bonk.
Seriously, it should have had just like cartoon sounds.
Hey Hudson, remember that
Boing,
shit
boing,
that
boing.
Apone told you the stove? It just fell on my head.
Beep donk. Just got brained by a bunch of first aid kits. Alanis Morissette, you got anything to sing about now?
So I believe this puts Hicks in charge.
Yep.
Yeah, first of all, anyway, we're waiting for this dropship to come. But as it's about to show up, we find out, what do you know? There's an alien on board. It just takes them out.
Yeah, they didn't close the fucking ramp.
Yeah.
And one of those fuckers got on there.
Spunkmeyer, man.
Fucking Spunkmeyer.
What a douche. I mean, he starts to say something. He's like, oh, hey, you know all those aliens? There seems to be goo on this.
He's like, shut up, get up here.
Yeah. Pilot's just like, yeah, I don't care.
I think we have a leak on the plane, and it seems to be acid. This might be a problem. Oh, no, don't worry about
Why'd
it.
we leave the door open again?
We picked up monsters for some reason.
But, so yeah, they get killed. They crash.
The reason the door's open is because that cornbread just goes right through
Oh,
you.
yeah. Had the shits. That is a big bug.
Whoa.
The podcast has a special guest.
Not for long.
Special guest appearance
Rob
by...
is off.
It's
Do
a
that.
bug hunt.
It's like one of them. Was there a bug in Food Fight? What was that? Oh no, it was a rat. It was a rat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There might have been a bug. It was so poorly animated, who could tell? Oh,
Ah!
shit.
Ah! I was so scared.
Oh my gosh.
Guts all over your notebook now.
That's a meaty stain.
It's like a Rorschach test.
What the fuck was that?
So,
Cleaned it off by just hitting one of your other chairs?
Yeah, why not? Yeah. It's his house. Do what the
That's how
fuck
I
he
do,
wants.
yeah, the dropship is like, hey, I'm coming. Hey, I'm out of control.
Yeah.
Everyone has to run for it.
I'm coming at a 30-degree angle and backwards.
Yeah.
Like, well, this
That's
can't
what
be
she
good.
said?
And then the dropship, of course, flies right into the big fusion reactor terraformer thing.
Yeah.
And it blows up.
Yep. And
As you
everything blows up.
And Bill Paxton flips out. Hudson's like, oh, it's just great. Game over, man.
Yeah, I think this is probably one of the more famous lines, at least, from the entire film.
Certainly.
Certainly one of Bill Paxton's most famous lines of his entire career.
This is true.
And like for a good long time, any alien themed video game, when it was game over, you would have a soundbite of Hudson going, "It's game over, man." So
Don't do drugs.
yeah. So they have a conversation actually a little bit before this that I found interesting, where they're talking about, let's get out of here and just nuke this place from orbit.
Yes.
It's the only way to be sure.
Yeah, and Burke's like, you don't have the authority to do that. And they're like, well, you know, Hicks is in charge. And they're like, Burke's like, he's a corporal. He has a good point, though, because it's like anything that deploys nuclear weapons generally requires more than one officer to activate said nuclear weapons.
Yeah, but like
You don't just, like, any old grunt on the ship can't just go over and fire the nukes.
but I mean, like, he'd be in charge. Like,
you're
and
not
then the
taking-
next person below him would be his other person in charge with him.
And you're not taking
Right.
But I'm pretty
pettiness
sure he
into
doesn't
account.
have the safe to the, the combination to the safe that has the launch key in it.
Well, also, are we talking about firing nukes, or was this just like, let's fire at this, station and blow
Yeah, I
it?
don't know. Maybe like the Sulaco has.
Yeah, they didn't.
Plus,
they
you're
didn't
also
ever-
assuming they still have that method is still in operation.
Well, I guess they just casually throw nukes around in future ages,
But I mean,
which
like-
is
Yeah.
it's possible.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
You know.
Future
I'll buy
80
that
still
for
has
$1.
that lock and key system for sure, but
legit. Those could have been two nukes sitting in the fucking hangar that,
Yeah.
they showed in
Just casually
next to
lying
the pot.
around.
No, but there's these two rocket looking things in the hangar.
Yeah.
You know, it could have been nukes. Like,
they could have been.
Who would have brought a tear to old Ronnie Reagan's eyes?
yeah.
Don't do drugs.
Use nukes.
Tear down this wall and nuke it.
All right, so I guess that's how it is. You know, the Colonial Marines don't give a fuck.
Mommy,
So
cook the balls tonight.
Wow.
they're like, let's go into the base, and Newt's like, it will be dark soon. They mostly come out at night. Mostly.
Mostly.
Another iconic line. But yeah, so we try and set up a safe spot in this base.
Yeah. And again, Ripley, the smartest person in the movie, is like out like tacticking the Marines that are left. She's like, yeah, if we do put something here, here, and here, and then that leaves us only two routes in, and then we're good. He's like, fucking right.
Well, Hudson's just like, oh, this is great. You know, it's still, I think it's good, but I'm being sarcastic, so it's really not. And he's just going on constantly, and they're
I
like,
wish someone had smacked him this movie.
Yeah,
like
seriously.
one person smacked him.
maybe like a good, like, Vasquez slaps him, and he turns around, and Ripley slaps him.
Here's the thing. Ripley does slap him, just verbally.
Right.
Yeah.
She's like, I really need you to focus because I'm sick of your bullshit. She's like, this little girl survived here for longer than, you know.
Why don't we put her in charge?
Smack.
Right there. That should have been it.
Smack.
Well, she outranks you, so it might happen. Now shut the fuck up.
True, she does, I think.
I think at this point she is wearing the Marine helmet.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, one thing you don't see in the theatrical release is they have these sentry gun turrets,
Yep.
which they have a lot of ammo for that, but they only have like the 4 pulse rifles and like half a flamethrower.
Well, I think they had. They just didn't bring it with them.
Yeah.
Because they had more stuff on like the other ship and whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Just didn't bring. They didn't
Yeah, I'm
think
sure
they
the
would need
dropship
that
had
shit.
reloads. For
Yeah.
their
Well,
gun
yeah.
and
Also, it is specified the dropship had a lot more on it, but this is all they could salvage from the
Yeah.
explosion.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So
Well, I think they specified they salvaged it from the APC, but
well,
I could be
whichever.
wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
does anybody remember what Ripley's actual job was in the first Alien film?
flight officer.
Yeah.
Just fly
Yeah, I think she was
okay.
second in command of the ship.
Yeah,
believe
she
so.
had a high rank,
Yeah.
but I don't remember what exactly her position was.
I think she was basically in charge of getting the ship around.
Yeah.
Okay, but not like tactician.
No.
No.
She was a pilot of some kind.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, she's just fucking smart. Like.
Oh no, I'm not saying she's not. I was just trying to figure out if that was a carryover or if she's just if she's just super smart.
Yeah, again, this is a bit problematic just because, like, I'm cool with her being smart and awesome, but the fact that she is out strategizing the military.
The fact that she's allowed to vote gives you a problem.
Yes, exactly.
So the military, though, like their morale just broke, and they're just now in a situation that they were not prepared for. Where Ripley's already been through it once, and she's like, all the freaking out and stuff. That's done.
They're
She's
done with
like,
that shit.
Yeah.
Well, I give you, they're not prepared for these aliens, but they don't seem prepared for, like, much of anything. Like, you're the military. You should be prepared for the, unexpected. And like,
No, pretty much at this point, they do well. Like, because I mean,
they're holding their own for
Yeah.
sure. Like,
Except for Hudson. Well, Hudson, all the rest are like, all right. Hudson.
but even though Hudson's complaining a lot, like he still does his job.
yeah,
like he
he'd
gets
still
stuff done.
Be the computer guy and everything.
He goes out. He
Yeah.
goes out fighting. when
Yeah,
he
that's
goes
just his
out, like-
coping strategy.
Yeah, besides, she might play StarCraft and have to like know how to cut off roots for shit. And,
that's fair. All right. Anyway, yeah, so we set up these turrets.
So what
We
I
cut
like,
off these paths.
I like with the turrets, they're like, test it, and they just throw a bucket out there, and these guns open fire, and I'm like, is that how these operate normal? That is so unsafe.
Just shoot at anything. Like,
Well, I mean,
I was also kind of thinking, like, isn't ammo limited here? Like, well, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But anyway.
yeah, I'm not sure if they set them the best to conserve their ammo. Because having two shooting on a quarter at once shoots twice the
Yeah,
ammo. That,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, but I understand, like, they're trying to kill. They weren't sure how many there were. So they thought they would have
Yeah.
killed the first wave anyway. But
They also have a way of sneaking around things, so maybe they figured.
it quickly shows how they didn't bring enough bullets.
Yeah, they each have like 500 round magazines, and they go through that real quick.
Which that's not a lot. That for a super submachine whatever like machine gun type turret.
Yeah.
500 rounds is not a lot.
Well, but I'd imagine these aren't built for a horde of things to be running at them. It would be
guess.
like, this goes off at the first guy that walked around the corner, and the rest of them are like, whoa, let's not go around that corner.
True.
Yeah, that's probably just like, if you need to nap, you set this up there, and when it goes off, you get the hell up and deal with whatever else.
they're not built for Zap Brannigan tactics.
So yeah, at this point, they put Newt to sleep in the med lab, and then they speculate about the existence of an alien queen. So they're like, what's making these eggs?
Yeah, like maybe it's something we haven't seen.
Which really makes you wonder about like how all the eggs got on the derelict ship in the first movie, but not wonder enough that you need to make a bunch of half-assed prequels.
I mean,
trying to explain it.
honestly, like I would having not seen those movies, I would just think maybe the queen was on the ship and just laid them.
Yeah, well, that was my assumption.
And then,
too.
like, when they took over the Hadley's Hope, the queen just walked over.
just kind of strolled over.
I mean, like there's some
Everyone
bugs.
grab my sack. We're going for a walk.
There are some like insects where in the absence of a queen,
One
one
yeah.
will become a
Oh,
queen.
yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured.
Yeah, that's how I
is
figured it too. Like,
The first one in there kind of just becomes a queen
I
eventually.
mean,
and
honestly,
starts
my
producing.
assumption always was that the space jockey, who is the pilot of the derelict ship, hatched a queen, who then subsequently went down into the basement and laid all those eggs,
Yeah.
and then probably traveled on to or just wandering around or whatever.
Maybe they just have her lifespan expired.
That could also be.
Yeah.
That makes total sense.
Well, I mean, in the first one, he never gets to venture any further than those eggs, so she could still be there.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
So
Just
I mean, Ridley Scott, you don't need to tell us. We figured it out. Okay,
Yeah.
relax.
learn something from John Carpenter.
those movies didn't erase this movie.
leave a message.
I know. And honestly, I've never seen those movies. I just they don't. You don't need to keep spending money on them.
People keep spending money to see it, so
Not
I will
that
say without
movie.
doing a full review, because we're not doing that movie, but just like if you just kept that part out of it, I think it would have been fine.
But if you really want us to review those movies, $20 will get you there.
But yeah, it kind of functions like throwing in Baby Boba Fett into the Star Wars prequels. Like I don't need to see that. Like you're ruining the mystery. So anyway, so we were.
I was okay with that.
This is when Burke and Ripley have the conversation where Ripley's like, "Look, dude, I know you sent that salvage team out there. This is kind of on you." And he's like,
Oh, I didn't do that. I read the script. Oh,
yeah, it's like, I see the order right there. He's like,
I think she says she saw the order. Yeah.
yeah.
and she's
I
like,
knew you were trouble when you walked in.
picturing the version with the goat.
Is that Taylor Swift?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, she's like, "I'll make sure your ass is nailed to the wall. Nailed to the wall." Burke's like, "Well, she's got to go."
This seems funny to me because she grabs him, and I feel like she grabbed him harder than she meant to, because she eases off for a half second and she's fucking and grabs him again.
Well, one thing you don't realize either is I forget that Sigourney Weaver is actually pretty big.
Yeah, she's a tall lady.
Yeah, I mean, and at this age, she probably could just throw Paul Reiser around.
I think at her current age, she could throw Paul Reiser. Well, I mean, Paul Reiser's probably got 100 pounds or so on her now, but
I don't know. Laura's not a big guy.
he's big around the middle, I
Well.
believe, these days.
Is he?
A little in the middle, but he's got much back.
Wow.
I think the last thing I saw him in was maybe like, I don't know, was he in Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Too bad we already brought up Anaconda.
So,
Wow.
Anyway.
so now at this point, the aliens are like, "Oh, what do these gun turrets do?" And then one of them explodes, and the next one's like, "Oh, what do these gun turrets do?"
In my head, they're just kind of all running at the turrets like Kermit the Frog, just like, because it just drains the ammo.
I'm picturing StarCraft
Yeah.
when you got that Zergling swarm coming at you, and like
That's more accurate.
they send the first 50 Zerglings they have, and they don't give a fuck about your turrets.
Like, wait till these hydralisks that are coming in behind them get in there.
That's, so it completely drains two of the turrets in one corridor, and then the other corridor drains one of the turrets, but seems one of the turrets still has some bullets left. They must have stopped coming.
That happens a little later, but yeah. That's basically what the gun turrets do.
Yeah.
Now, I could see why these scenes were not included in the original.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, A, they're kind of long, and B, all you really do is see a gunfire and you hear alien screams.
Yeah.
C and D, you see a little bit of aliens get shot.
Well, also, it's literally just like, we set up the turrets. Oh, the turrets are drained of ammo. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, it happens almost that quickly. Like, just, okay.
I mean, I like them. They're cool.
Oh,
but,
yeah, and it's a
like,
good idea,
yeah.
but...
It's suspenseful, I guess.
All right, so then Bishop's like, "Hey, look out the window. See the atmosphere processor? Yeah, see it's on fire."
Yeah, this place is going to blow up. We're all going to die.
More Bill Paxton freakouts.
Yeah. Like, well, we need some way to contact the ship.
So Bishop volunteers to go to the the settlements
He
communicator.
tries to, but there's so much bickering. He's just like, I'll go. Go.
Yeah, I do. He says that like 50 times while they're yelling at each other, like, "Who's gonna go? Who's gonna go?" Like, I just said, I'll go.
I will take the ring, though I do not know the way.
I wonder what would happen if you give the ring to a synth. Like, will it tempt them?
No, I mean it'd probably be over in like
Will
2
he
days.
Will he try to shove it down Sigourney Weaver's throat?
No, we proved it will. Bilbo was in the first one,
Oh,
and
that's
he
right,
turned
yeah.
evil without the
That's
ring.
correct.
So
Yeah, good point.
come on now.
Wait, what? Huh? He was in the first.
Aliens. Or Alien. Yeah, he was the first synth.
But yeah,
He
so
started
like,
turning evil eventually. So
like the Bishop goes away. He's out of the movie for a while.
Now this scene, this is some intense stuff where they just put him in the pipe.
Oh my god! Like it
this is freaky.
It gives me the heebie-jeebies every time.
And he has
Every single time.
Yeah, so they give him a pistol. He's like, I can't do anything with this. He's like, gives it right back. And, like they weld the pipe shut behind him, so he can't go backwards. And his only choice is to just shimmy forward on his belly, like an anaconda.
I was like, he goes, "Watch your fingers" when they're putting it back on.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, he's so considerate.
And you just get this horrible like look of his face,
Oh yeah.
just shimmying towards you.
Which also, his look throughout this whole movie, I don't know if if it's just all makeup or if they dyed his hair a certain way, but he does look synthetic.
Yeah, he
It's
nailed
weird.
it.
Yeah.
Because originally he wanted to put in some contacts to have different eyes, and they're like, "No, you don't look like a person anyways."
No, you got it.
How do you take that note, by the way? Just like, yeah, you look enough not like a person. You're good.
Oh yeah, and Lance Henriksen's like, I got a band, I write novels, I got a comic book, I carve coconuts and do all this other stuff, and they're like, "Are you a robot?"
He carves coconuts?
I don't know. He does all kinds of things.
Oh.
He makes like drums or something.
Well, yeah, I would have totally believed that.
Yeah.
But what happens next?
All right, so then whatchamacallit? That's when C&D guns go out, and this is when Hicks is like, "Yeah, I should probably show you how the pulse rifle works." This is when Ripley's like, "When the time comes, will you do me?" And he's like, "I'll do us both."
Actual line.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's the context.
it's taken out of context a little bit.
Bottom line, if it comes to it, don't let the aliens take me.
Yeah. I'd rather die than give birth to one of those monsters.
All right.
Funny thing you do, and you do. Sorry.
So Hicks is like, "Yeah, check this gun out. Prepare to get a boner."
I did, and I did.
Yes. He was saying that both to Ripley and the audience. Yeah, the pulse rifle's just cool. Then Gorman wakes up and he's like, "Hey, I'm up, but I'm still useless." And like they're not even respecting his authority at all. Like Hicks is still in charge.
Yeah, they're totally
Well, Hicks is in charge. Ripley's in charge.
Yeah.
Right.
Because Hicks is just like, we're just going to do whatever Ripley says.
Yeah. She's been right the entire time. So
As you do. Yeah.
So Ripley's like, "All right, I'm going to go check on Newt, maybe go take a nap." And she finds Newt under the bed in the med lab. So she just cuddles up and leaves the pulse rifle on top of the bed. Not good plan.
No.
Yeah, and then like whatchamacallit? This is when Bishop reaches the end of the processor, gets to the transmitter, and calls the dropship. And then it cuts back to Ripley, and she wakes up, and she sees that the tanks that had the facehuggers in them are just lying empty on the floor in the med lab.
Oh no!
How did this happen? I don't.
How could this have happened?
Yeah.
No, I honestly don't understand. Like,
Yeah,
when did he get in and do this without anyone noticing?
Left
Can I
Burke
ask a
unsupervised.
question?
What's that?
Sure.
If you're Ripley, having the experiences that you do, would you even sleep
Nope.
in
No.
an area with those?
I'm surprised she didn't just walk into the lab and fire the pulse
That's
rifle.
what I'm saying.
Like,
Like,
real talk.
I would have
Yeah.
killed him
Yeah, I'd
right
be like,
away.
"Oh, thanks for showing me how this works." I'm going to go fire a grenade off in the med lab. The fire alarm goes off. That's me.
Yeah, I mean, she had bigger things to worry about with securing themselves from these aliens. But like, objective number 2 is get rid of these things.
Yes.
Yeah, like you don't leave him alive.
I'd be like, "Hey, Burke, look at this. blow them all up with a grenade, and it'd be
Right.
like, your ass is getting nailed to the wall.
Plus, let's not forget that she's telling just a minute or two ago. We have a scene where she's telling this little girl, like, get some sleep and try and not to have nightmares. Oh, by the way, the thing that killed your parents is in a tank like 2 feet away.
Yeah.
Just deal with that. Like,
Yeah. Look at that. You see that hand with 2 nut sacks and a dick in the middle of it? That's just hanging out over there.
Like legit, that's what it is.
It's 2 hands with 2 nut sacks.
Sorry.
And a
My
tail.
Bad. My bad.
There's a penis coming out from those sacks as well. Let's not forget.
Make a bird with your hands. Just imagine a big old dick coming out of the middle of it. Like a big Wolverine size.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the reference we're throwing in.
There it is.
So
All that.
she goes to reach up for the pulse rifle. It's not there. Then she like pokes her head up and is like, "What's going on here?" And the face hugger's like, "Gotcha, bitch!" Jumps out.
A face, just what I was waiting for. Like,
And she
okay.
pins it against the wall with the bed, and then flips the bed over and runs to go, go out the door. Door's locked, of course.
Of course.
Goes to signal to the security camera, which Burke is watching, and he turns that off.
Yeah, like if you weren't sure that he was a dickhole, now you know for sure
Yeah.
For
he's
sure.
a dickhole.
I wonder, does it kind of work like snakes, where if you grab them by the base, just above the nutsack, can you like kind of just hold it there and be
I imagine it's going to.
Does it work on you?
Like, how steady is your hand? Like,
Don't work on me. You're not safe. You're not safe there.
Depends on who's doing it.
I'll still get you right in the mouth.
So, what even happens? Okay, so
What even happened?
yeah, so now like the face hugger jumps at Ripley. Oh yeah, that's right. She lights off the fire sprinklers, and then the face hugger's like, "Gotcha again."
Ripley is the smartest person in this movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
Like hands down.
It's like,
No
problem. Here's a
question.
solution.
Yeah,
Done.
hands down.
Well, yeah, she first tries the door, but that's
Yeah.
been sealed shut because this guy's an asshole.
The window's really
Yeah,
strong.
tries to break through the window, but the chair is not as strong as the window. So she sets off the sprinkler, which sets off some alarms, and now everybody knows they're in trouble. She starts fighting with this one face hugger. That's all.
It gets
up
her
in
on the
her
neck
grill.
too. It's
Oh yeah, it's choking her out.
it's like just a tip. Come on, just open up.
Here's
Just a
some
tip.
things. Actually, let's finish the scene, then I'll go into some complaints.
Well, Newt is just screaming at the top of her lungs, and here comes this other face hugger who's just like, well, there's an open mouth. And it's
Sad but true.
Yeah.
Pulls a Freddy Krueger.
yeah. But the Marines break in at this point. They kill the one that's after Newt. They, fend off eventually this other one.
They kill them both.
Yeah.
It's like the Evil Dead
Yeah.
2 style. The hand, he's trying to hold it back from his face.
Yeah.
So like,
I did kind of question at one point when we see it crawling across the floor if it was just going to give the finger and then crawl in that hole.
All right. So I understand the general idea of Burke's plan here, but I guess he didn't know this, but like after the alien gets on you, it's on you for, like the facehugger, it's on you for a while. Like someone's going to come and check and notice, oh, hey, they got facehuggers on them. Also, when the facehugger finally lets go and they get up, they're going to be like, oh yeah, he put facehuggers on us. There's aliens in us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too clear on his plan either. Like,
he didn't know either.
Well,
Yeah.
from what I understand, the plan was he gets the fake suckers on him.
well,
They've got enough emotional attachment to the other characters that the other characters aren't going to just kill them outright.
Yep.
So he's like, let's put them in hypersleep, and so we can have doctors surgically remove them after we get home.
that's kind of what I was thinking.
Then
now.
Yeah.
he sabotages the Marines things.
Although he forgets that she just was promised by Hicks that he'd do them both.
Wow. He was not privy to the dual
But then-
mode.
I'll do the kid too. It's fine.
I know that the Marines aren't the most observant people, but they'd be like, why are there no living facehuggers? Why are the tanks that the facehuggers were in on the ground in here?
But that could be an accident, you know? Like there's, you know.
They both got out?
Yeah. And he probably does just legitimately not know that they'll be fine for a little while after the facehugger gets on them.
Yeah, and also, like, if Burke has taught us anything, he doesn't really respect the Marines at all, their intelligence, their authority, you know.
Because it's a company that owns them, pretty much.
Right.
Like,
He just sees them as grunts.
Yeah.
And he's starting to get desperate now.
Yes,
yeah,
that
I am
too.
thinking he is probably, you know, as soon as that facehugger's off, we'll throw him in the sleep pod and be like, oh, it's for their, medical health.
Yeah, I mean, for him, either way, he has to kill Ripley.
Yep.
Because, like, she knows.
Just get his ass nailed to the wall.
Yeah, you don't want to get nailed to the wall. She's like, well, I can't put a bullet in her head,
It's like,
so.
I need my ass. I can't just have it stuck to a wall.
That's where I do all my best sitting. Anyway.
So, what's that? So now they're just having a debate over what to do with Burke. And the Marines are like, hey, let's just kill him.
Yeah.
Hudson's all like, you're dead, man.
Yeah, this is also where I kind of have a problem because, like, they're ready to take him out when suddenly they lose power. And they're like, oh, the aliens cut the power.
He's still right there.
Well, that's the thing. Hicks goes, did he tell Hudson? I forgot who he tells, but he's like, watch over Burke.
He told Gorman.
Gorman. All right. And if I were Gorman, I'd be like, I'll watch him stab, like cut his throat open, like watched. He's not going anywhere.
Gorman is also not. He's very by the book, first of all.
Yeah.
And second of all, he's certainly not the most reliable.
As this next scene proves.
Fair.
So,
as every scene thus far has proven.
So now we get a very suspenseful scene where the aliens are coming, the motion detectors see them, and they're coming like real close, like past the barricades.
Yep.
They're like, how's that even possible? Let's go in the room and weld the door shut. Which I don't fully understand because it's not like the aliens are going to open the door. They're just going to smash it down anyway.
Right.
So, I mean, I guess if it's in one piece, it's a little harder to smash down.
Yeah.
Which, now that you mention the that first part where the kids and the parents in the beginning, it was not in the original movie, not in the original release of the movie. They foreshadowed this in that scene because
all the kids are playing.
All the kids play in the ducts. They play in the air ducts, whatever. So like that's right away. You're like, oh, the air ducts. Like, oh.
So yeah, now they're real close. They're inside the room with us, and that's when Ripley's like, oh yeah, oh what a feeling. They're dancing on the ceiling.
But I mean, that's the thing. Like, they're not even going through the air ducts. They're just in the ceiling. Because she specified when they were going over the blueprints, she's like, we have to cut off the air ducts. Like, I have to see all the entrances and exits.
This is one of them weird bases with a drop ceiling and a drop floor. There's just extra space.
Yeah, there's
everywhere.
like a crawl space up there.
Yeah, pretty sure you could crawl around in the walls too.
Yeah, it's enough. Like, if you're being attacked by ants, they're just gonna get into every spot.
Anyang's
Which is
living in
crazy
there,
to
like
think
sending
about.
messages to Korea.
Which is crazy to think about because unlike Anyang, who is probably like 3'4", the aliens are like 8 feet tall, have these big spines coming off the back. Plus their heads are like 5 feet long. Like, where are they fitting?
Now, who poked their head up there? Was it
Hicks? That explains probably why Hicks's head didn't get tore off the moment he poked it up there. They're like, this is kind of hard.
Also, there's only like 6 actual aliens in this movie. They just good editing to make it look like there's a shit ton of them.
Yeah.
And the costumes were really cheap.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, none of them are really on the screen for more than a few seconds.
Right.
At a
Yeah,
time.
it's again good editing, good lighting, and so on. So like 90% of that costume is just a black latex, or a leotard, and just like put probably like the hands in the right, whatever, and just show them from the top up.
And these are all
Or
warrior
drift up.
aliens, which have the more like ridgy head
Yeah.
and more spiny body. I'm not as big a fan of the warrior aliens as I am the like base alien form, which I guess would be just drone.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
I guess, yeah.
With the smooth head crest, I'm going a little far into it. At this
a little
point.
bit.
Sorry, I just prefer.
They're all pretty cool.
They are all pretty cool. I think I just prefer the original design a little bit better with the smooth head. It's just a little more creepy looking to me.
I was even on board for the dog alien. It was really when we got to the half Ripley, half alien.
Yeah.
That's just not.
I gotta say, like,
Yeah.
I think the basic aliens from that movie, from Alien Resurrection, were my favorite, where they had the kind of digitigrade legs.
Well, and they had the CGI to actually let them move around.
Yes, that is true.
the design you liked more than
Yeah.
the application.
Yeah, where it was kind of a mixture between the warrior and the drone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I'm talking about this. You guys should move on.
I haven't
Okay,
seen that
all right,
one.
so-
I can't stop
Either way,
talking.
all right,
I
Please
they're in
told
this-
everyone loves
Yeah.
your segment, so I was just gonna let you go.
Not all of them. Just the ones where I'm talking about dicks.
So, all right, the aliens are in the room. They crash down through the ceiling. And the Marines wreck shop on them for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even Ripley, like, she gets the pulse rifle going and takes one out.
Yeah, their biggest problem is that their escape plan is to head back to the med bay, where Burke's already decided to go.
Yeah, he locked his ass. He locked the door behind him. He was like, fuck
Burke's
y'all.
escape plan only involves himself.
Yeah.
Yep. Which I'm confused as to what his ultimate plan is at
The only
this
thing
point.
I can think of is he's just, at this point, he's desperate. He's got to hope that they die there, and then he could get to Bishop somehow, and then just be like, they all died. Take me back up.
Yeah.
I
And ship
guess.
arrives.
I think Burke's plan at this point is to not piss himself so much that he gives himself hypothermia.
That's fair.
Yeah, and Paul Reiser's playing this quite well, where he's like, you can tell he's covered in sweat. He's freaking out.
Yeah, a nice touch where like he bumps into something and just freaks the hell out and whips back around at it, but he's like, okay, I guess it was nothing.
But like in Jumanji, you look into the shadows as one place, and like out comes his head, and it's the alien. It's like, ah! And then you get some. Fuck.
The alien kills him just like Jumanji.
That would have been great.
That's a real shitty die roll.
What do you actually? Are you talking about the lion?
Yeah, the lion that comes
Okay.
out of yeah.
No,
Big stuffed animal, fake ass
it's
looking
like
lion.
if you
just comes
roll
out.
a 2, it's like a critical failure, and an alien just bursts out of your chest.
Oh man.
Now you must run as fast as you can, or you will face an alien.
That's like a freaking Mortal Kombat death. Like an alien grabs your head, pierces your skull,
Yeah.
while a baby alien bursts through your chest.
Except some
Have they been
dumbass
in
is
Mortal
like
Kombat yet?
flawless victory.
No, just Predator.
All right, so now it's Hudson's turn. His time in this movie is over.
Last commando we have.
Goes out like a champ, though.
Yeah, no, he's taking them all down, and he didn't account on the the floor.
No, but his body count is pretty up there
Yeah.
by the time he goes out.
Yeah, Vasquez is taking out a whole bunch now.
Oh, yeah.
too.
Yeah, she's the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that one. She pins that one alien to the wall with her foot and just starts shooting it in the face with like a handgun.
So, yeah,
Burns her foot off, but
so the what you would call it? They run through the air ducts, and Vasquez is kind of the last one because she's stopping to shoot the aliens every once in a while. And yeah, she does. An alien jumps down at her. At this point, she's just reduced to her pistol, and she shoots it, and it acids her foot.
yeah.
So she's kind of trying to pull herself along when Gorman's like, "All right, it's my time. I'm gonna come to the rescue."
Yeah, I'm gonna redeem myself a little. Tries to go back. He's pulling her along, but aliens are popping out left and right. He's firing at him with his pistol, but it's not doing a whole hell of a lot. So finally, he's just like, "Fuck it, we're gonna go down in a blaze of glory." He preps. I guess it's essentially a grenade.
Yeah.
It's a little stick thing.
Yeah, I believe he arms it, and then when he would take his fingers off, it would
Yeah,
go.
it's like a click pen
Yeah.
that explodes. So yeah, they just go up.
Vasquez reminds him that you always were an asshole, even though it's our first mission together. I guess technically it's true.
I guess. We find out that these vents, Newt knows the way. She's trying to lure them back to the is it to the bay or something?
To the landing field.
The landing field. And apparently these vents lead out to the weird death wheel.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on in this room.
It's a weird architectural choice to have this slow moving.
Seems to be
vent.
like a paddle wheel that you'd find on a boat or in a stream.
Yes.
And to get to the ladder in this room to ascend to where you want to go, you have to walk across this paddle wheel. There's no railing. There's no like bridge over it.
Nope.
Jump across it.
Yeah.
I guess so.
I mean, I guess the Weyland-Yutani Corporation, they figured like the cost of the lawsuits versus the cost of adding the railing. They're like, fuck it, we'll just leave it the death wheel there.
Yeah.
And sure enough, this thing gobbles up the kid the first chance it gets.
Well, because like everyone else just stepped over it.
Yeah.
But she had to step on it to get over it, and it was like, oh, I'm a little kid, I'm out.
Well, I mean,
also, like, it doesn't seem to really even be moving on its own until she steps on it, and then it's just like, whoop!
it was in the ductwork, so it probably was never meant for a child to be in, on, or around it.
Yeah, but it is like we said, there's a ladder right on the other side, and it doesn't seem like there's any way to get to this ladder other than stepping on or over this wheel.
Over it, yeah.
But, I guess we're well on our way.
Theoretically, someone can just climb down this ladder and their feet will just stop on the murder wheel.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, luckily for a kid, like it pulls them under into that chute. But like if an adult stepped on that and it pulled them under, it's probably it right there. There go your legs.
Could be.
They go down the chute.
I mean, it's a place where typically if you're in that corridor where that ladder is, you're a technician about to work on it, so you know what's there.
Hopefully
like,
you'd have it shut
yeah,
off by then.
like,
I imagine it's just to help circulate air through the ducts.
Yeah.
But anyway, this little girl goes sliding through. She's off having a great adventure.
That slide does look fun.
That does look fun. But Ripley's like, we got to go after her, so they go trying to find out where she went.
Well, like she gave Newt her tracker, so they had a device to be able to track that wrist thing. So once they get out of the corridor, she goes, "I'm gonna go back and find her. Y'all better not fucking leave me."
Yeah, that's when
Just try it.
they're trying to cut through the floor to get to Newt, and Alien's like, "This is mine now." This is how this is happening.
Yeah, she's in the gray water in the sewers. Alien nabs her. And Ripley's really pissed off about it, but Hicks is like, forget it. She's dead. We lost her. Let's just go.
So yeah, they get to the elevator, which is the slowest elevator in the world for the door to close. And Alien's like, got room for me in here. Hicks is like, got room for my pulse rifle?
Just hitting door close button as hard as he can, like like that works.
Still rocking his pulse rifle, or has he got a shotgun?
No, I think this is still the pulse rifle he fires. I think he used up the shotgun on the APC door.
Gotcha.
It could be.
Either way, he gets splashed with acid.
Oh, yeah.
His chest piece catches most of it, but it corrodes him.
Yep.
And yeah, so
Pretty
now
much
Ripley's
takes him out of the fight.
yeah carrying him now. And they get to the dropship, and Bishop's like, "Let's go," and they're like, "We're not going anywhere." Well, we're going to the atmospheric processor. Bishop's like, "But that's about to explode."
I have to get Newt.
I won't leave without her. Because
I lost my daughter. I'm getting a new one.
Yeah, I'm friggin' Ripley. That's why.
Yeah,
that's fair.
like by the company's salvage laws, this is mine now.
So yeah, they head over there. She decides to start building her own ultimate weapon.
Yeah, she's got like a whole assault system here.
Yeah, she's forging an Excalibur.
Her signature gun is pretty damn badass though. So she's got a pulse rifle with a grenade launcher, and she duct tapes a flamethrower to that and the tracker.
Yep.
And she's got like a grenade belt.
Just
She's
flares
ready to
with her.
rock. Yeah. It's not quite a commando gear up scene, but it's like the tier right below that.
Yeah.
Well, this is like, whereas Commando was like, I have every gun ever made available to me. She's like, I'm just taking whatever's here and I'm going to use it to the best of my ability.
Yep.
Taking all that's left of our ammo and weaponry and turning it into one massive weapon. Just fucking everything up.
So, yeah, she goes into the hive and finds Newt's tracker. And you're like, oh, Newt's not there.
Oh.
Yeah, she starts crying. She's about to give up when Newt once again starts screaming like a howler monkey.
The face hugger's waking up.
Yep.
Yeah, Ripley comes to the rescue and just shoots the shit out of that. And there's this one alien there that, like, maybe he was trying to attack her, but to me, it just looked like he was just, like, on his way to get a sandwich or something. Like, he's just walking through the hive. And she shoots the shit out of him, like, a bunch of times. He's just like, oh! So, yeah, then she can't go back the way she came in, so she goes forward into the queen's chamber.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's just kind of walking along until she suddenly, like, stops, realizes she's surrounded by eggs. And then looks up and is like, oh, that's a giant
That's a big
anus.
butthole.
Yeah. That's some trunk butt.
Yeah, and this thing looks super awesome, but super gross at the same time.
Oh, yeah. It's awesome in the most terrible ways.
Mm-hmm.
It's a giant sluggy worm deal that's pooping out eggs. And
Like
it
in
leads...
Futurama, the Slurm episode.
yeah. And it leads to this massive alien with the ginormous head crest and legs all up and down to Tuesday. And
It's like a skeleton made out of gimp suits and just covered in Vaseline.
So H.R. Giger's
Covered.
drawings.
Yeah, yeah.
I like how it has where like the normal alien's mouth would be. It has an entire another head that just sort of sinks down from the first head.
Yep.
And that has the mouth. And this thing's like, hey, why don't we kill this lady? And she's like, hey, I got a flamethrower right next to all your babies.
yeah.
It's a cool scene because she shows it off and then it goes, okay.
Yeah,
All right,
and
be cool.
the look she gives the alien queen. The alien queen's like, yeah, all right, I don't want that.
Yeah, like she literally is like, guys, stand down. And there's two other aliens that are like, all right, we're backing off.
We're cool.
But then this one egg goes and fucks it all up.
He's just like, hey guys, what's going on out here? And Ripley's like, everyone dies.
It's like, happy birthday.
Happy Death Day.
She's just like, bitch.
And like,
I like she also gives a look like, nice try, bitch. Like,
well, in RPG terms, like, this is the epitome of the intolerance flaw. Because it's like, you could have shot that egg and just made your way out the door, and this whole place is going to blow up. They're all going to die. But no, she stayed to try to kill every last fucking thing there. Sacrificed precious time.
She's
Her
ammo.
ability to defend herself.
well, like she went on this journey to face her fears.
Yep.
And she was gonna face them.
Mm-hmm.
And she wanted closure. She was
Yeah.
like,
but this is also a terrible idea because rather than like taking on the queen, essentially, she just fires a bunch of grenades into her ass.
Well, she kills all the queen's babies.
She does, which is good.
But yeah, it's like, you think at least one of those grenades you direct at the queen herself.
Yeah, like, let's aim for a headshot, shall we?
in all fairness, she may not have known that like the queen could detach her butt.
Yeah.
I get that, but still, like, let's aim for the head, shall we? Like, I don't know if that will kill her, but I know shooting her in the face will, so let's do that.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, she fucks everything up in here. And the queen detaches her butt sack.
It's a funny scene because like it's like the squatty, it's like lay squatting over like a poop hole, and it kind of jiggles a little
Squatty
bit.
potty.
Yeah, like and the butt comes off. Like
Just trying to wiggle your butt enough to get that one last little bit
start
out.
rocking
Yeah.
and stuff like oh.
Rock maneuver.
Yeah, and she's off.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Ripley's waiting for the elevator. Like you do, I guess.
And in true 80s fashion, the whole layer is self-destructing.
Yeah. I wonder if there's a cut edited like scene where like there's elevator music playing.
Yeah. I'd like to see the elevator with the queen.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. The queen's in there.
So, yeah. She gets away in the elevator, and the queen's like, I'll just get the next one.
Like for real. It's like, oh yeah, hit the button again. Like,
We do get a little bit of fuzzy math, I think, at this point. There's no way that queen is fitting in the damn elevator,
For real.
man.
To be fair, even with the butt taken off, the prop used for the alien, they not only had to remove her tail entirely, but they had to like take the back part of the elevator off, and they just put a black curtain up and be like, nobody will notice. It worked.
Yeah,
but
because like the legs, there's no way they're bending to fit in there.
Oh, the head alone, like that huge crest she's got going on, like
yeah, That's popping out the back of this elevator.
Yeah. I mean, maybe she could have gotten on top of it or something. I don't know. She could have torn a wall out. I mean, that's not a problem.
Plus, if it was a real creature, it may have had the like articulation and flexibility to actually fit. But being a prop that it was, it was kind of rigid, so it wasn't.
But I am kind of picturing out just like the crest is up against the back wall, and her face is down there, like hitting at buttons to the floor she wants.
Yeah, hit all the damn buttons, like fuck.
Having scale representations of Ripley and a queen alien, like just looking at the size difference between those two items, there's no way that thing could compact, no matter how it moved.
Well, I'm sure it could compact enough to fit in the elevator, but whether it'd be still alive,
no, it definitely couldn't. Like
be a different
its crest alone was like would have been
Just
like.
let it go. Just let it go.
Anyway,
listen, I'm not letting it detract from my enjoyment of the film at all. But we're here making a critique about the. Oh yeah, I know. We're here making a critique about the movie, so I figured explore all options.
So anyway,
Go ahead.
no.
All right. So yeah, we get to the top, and Ripley comes out, and she's like, "Where's Bishop?"
That son of a bitch.
Yeah.
He left us.
And then the alien queen comes out of the elevator and is like, "Yo, what the hell?"
I said it was cool.
Yeah.
You kill my babies. Like,
Like, I'm really nettled right now.
You blew up my ass. You have any idea how much that hurt?
And then Bishop shows up with the dropship. And, like, they just sort of climb on that little staircase. And the queen's just like, "Oh, all right, well, I guess I'll let you do that."
I lose, I guess.
Well, I guess, in fairness, probably at that point, the queen's like, "All right, well, I'll get over here on the landing gear or whatever." Because you don't really see the queen after that.
Well, I think at that point, she's now trying to figure out how to get off the elevator. So she's like, well, which way did my leg twist to
How
get
did I
in?
get in here?
Yeah, like when you get that couch, you're trying to get up a winding stairwell, and you got it halfway, but you can't remember how to turn it to get. Yeah, it's like that. But she gets off and apparently just finds a way onto this dropship. Spoiler alert.
I guess into the rear landing gear.
I guess.
Yeah. So
Again, that's tighter than the elevator, so I don't know how, but sure.
James Cameron, at this point, he's like, "All right, make the music as close to Star Wars from when the Death Star is about to fire the laser as we can without getting sued."
right.
And put that in here. Because I'm watching it, and it's just that kind of that same note with like the dun, 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 dun. But like, I'm like, are they about to fire the super laser? Like,
Well, I will say, I don't know about that one in particular, but apparently he put a lot of pressure on the guy, his composer. I forgot his name now.
James Horner.
Perhaps. But like he wasn't given much time to make the music for this, so he had to use a lot of like bit parts and cannibalize some other stuff he used for like Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan and stuff. So if you hear any notes of that,
well, if it was James Horner, he was.
Yeah, it was James Horner.
All right, so that's why the Commando soundtrack was just one song, because he had to worry about this movie. All right, so yeah, the explosion's pretty cool. I like it. Happy Soap goes up in smoke.
I mean, a bit dated now, but it still
it's
works.
it's no Independence Day explosion.
Right.
Thankfully.
But it's not Escape from LA surfing on a wave.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
It could have been too. Like, I'm glad it wasn't.
All right, so they get back to the ship.
Yes.
And Bishop's like, "Yeah, sorry, everything was exploding, so
Yeah.
I could just stay in one spot."
We were parked in a handicap zone. I couldn't stay there anymore. So.
They do a good job of making Bishop seem like just ominous enough where he could be bad, but still nice enough where when he's not, you're like, "Oh yeah, he wouldn't be bad." Like,
So at that point, she's like, "All right, Bishop, you're a good guy. I like you."
You're pretty awesome.
Hey, Bart, I just got this hockey mask and this chainsaw. You want to cut you some brownies?
It's like, why is the floor corroding? Why is there a spike sticking out of my chest?
owie. But yeah, right out of his chest, alien tail.
I love this though, because the queen like lifts him up, looks at Ripley, is like, "Is this yours? Do you like this?" Rips it. Like, how does that feel?
That's how I roll.
No, my pasta pinata.
Yeah.
And Lance Henriksen is just vomiting
Yeah.
Alfredo sauce everywhere. No, but this stuff was so much grosser because this was like it was milk and something else that they left out after they made it.
Yes.
Yes.
And he's like, fuck it, I'll still drink it.
Ugh.
And then he was actually puking between takes.
That's what happens when Mars attacks.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like Jazz, he's just ripped in half and thrown aside. Like fucking whatever.
At least he got to be in the whole movie first.
Yeah. And
He
his
didn't
one line wasn't just a racist garbage.
Fuck.
But yeah, he's just out. So the alien is like looking a bust. She tells Newt to go hiding. Of course, she hides in the floor like you do.
That's what she's used to.
Yeah.
She survived a lot of time doing it, so why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ripley's like, oh, over here, come get me, and just ducks into this other bay door and gets behind that. The queen is like smashing her head against that for a little bit, and then is like, oh, well, Newt's still over here. Let me get some of that.
I mean, like, how awesome would it would have been awesome, but how awesome would it have been if while Ripley is distracting the queen, like Newt's doing some flips over this bar to like kick the queen.
Or if Chris Hansen came out and he was like, excuse me, Queen, what do you want with this child? Why don't you sit here and have some cookies? Queen's like, I don't want any cookies. I'm leaving.
I was waiting for the queen to like, she's like, look over here, and the queen just like look at her and like while she's staring, well, not staring because she doesn't have eyes, but like kind of looking at her head on, like that tail just sinks through the floor and stabs Newt in the head. Oh, sorry, were you trying to save this? Just on the tail.
Was this your baby?
Your surrogate baby, your new daughter.
But what we get though is so much more badass.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Like the music starts up, the alien queen's hands start glowing red, and then like Ripley comes out and she's glowing gold.
Yeah.
And just kicks the shit out of the alien queen. Sparks are flying everywhere.
In comes this Iron Giant, and she's just busting with the alien queen.
I mean,
It's
this
almost like a RoboCop.
Yeah.
this line for me that she says, like, this has got to be one of the best, like, badass lines in movie history for me.
In all seriousness, yeah, this scene is cool. She comes out in the power loader that you saw earlier, and she's like, fuck it, we're throwing down.
Yeah.
Like, my hair stands on end, like, every time.
Get away from her, you bitch.
Yeah, and just proceeds to slap the shit out of this queen.
Yeah, and just stand up in your seat and you got streamers going. You're just like, yeah!
And this power loader's pimp hand is strong.
Oh my
Real
god.
strong.
She
Real
gets through
strong.
both sides.
Yeah, honestly, I kind of felt a little bad for the queen a couple times because I'm just, well, no, because here's the thing. She's getting knocked around, and with that big ass head and those tiny legs, I'm like, how is she even getting up? Like, doesn't seem right. But
So this is an awesome like science versus nature battle. Where you have like the strength of the power loader versus like the agility and natural weaponry of the alien queen. And they each have their tricks. She's like, oh, I got a welding torch built into mine, and like the alien queen's like, I got another mouth inside my mouth.
well, she just tries to bite her, but she grabs her head. The little mouth starts coming out. She does the blowtorch thing. Then like the tail's swinging in, trying to stab her in the face.
Got nipple hands.
She does, like, for real.
Does have nipple hands. Not that those were terribly useful here, but
Yeah, but it's just the two matriarchs of two different families just battling it out
Yeah, badass.
in probably the most badass cat fight ever put to film.
finally Ripley's like, I know how to get rid of her. We're tossing her out the airlock because that always seems to work.
It worked last time.
Yeah. So she's about to just give this thing a pile driver out the airlock door, but the queen's too smart for that, and she's like, I'm taking your ass with me. She grabs on.
The scene is just hilarious because the power loader does this weird flip over the queen. It's like, whoop! Like it looks like a cartoon for a second.
Comes down hard on top of her though.
Oh, yeah. Like that, I would have thought that would have killed her ass right there.
Yeah.
Well, what I thought would have been interesting is if that caused part of the Queen's anatomy to break and caused her blood to
The
corrode
acid
the
to
door.
actually open the
Yeah.
door.
Yeah, and
rather
that
than-
causes like the decompression.
That would have been nice.
Yeah, that might have taken a little bit away from Ripley's badassness, though.
Yeah.
Well, because here's the problem. This is also where I start to be like, you might be pushing it, guys. Because Ripley has proven to be a grade A badass at this point. She is awesome. She doesn't need to do any more. But somehow now the Queen gets back up and just grabs onto her leg, and she manages to hold herself and the Queen up while this door opens and sucks them out into the vacuum of space.
Well, the Queen doesn't really get up. It's just her arms are long enough to reach Ripley.
Whatever. The point is, she is now Ripley is holding herself and the Queen while all of space is trying to suck them out.
Yeah. Well, and you have to look at the way she does it. It's not like her hands are holding on. She literally hooks her arm for leverage and like a fulcrum through the bars. So it would rip her shoulder out, if anything. So probably hurt like hell.
Yeah.
And then the first thing to give are her shoes. So the Queen isn't holding on for that long.
Yeah.
It's a smart move to the way she does it.
Her last insult is like, I'm going to take something else you love. One of your kicks.
One of your Reeboks.
Yeah, taking this into space with me.
I think I saw those, were those released for sale?
Probably.
Like recently? Because I know the ones from Marty McFly's shoes came out, but I thought Ripley's shoes came out this year too, or something.
That I don't
Not
know.
that I'm aware of, but maybe.
I'm pretty sure they came out.
But this is also once again where I think it would have been funny to just see like Newt and Bishop go flying out there along, because they're hanging on for dear life.
Or Bishop is bouncing around like a seal cub, like being pulled across the floor.
Like, man, I wish I had legs right about now.
Like my only complaint with this scene, and it's a minor complaint, was the lever she used to open the hatch is not the same one she had used to close it.
Yep.
I figured they would have been the same thing, but I don't know.
I think that's the cycle, the airlock lever that you would use if you were in the airlock.
Yeah.
But it only opens one door, which is kind of weird.
Yeah,
like you think it would close the top door.
Right, or something.
Well, I give them leniency on that one because like there were a lot of different buttons, so maybe it's some kind of combo.
Like, I let it go. It was, but just I just happened to notice, like, hey, why could you just hit the same button again? Like,
Well, what you do is you open the top door, put all the trash in there, close the top door, then the trash itself pulls that lever and jettisons itself out into space.
Yeah.
Trash being a bunch of synthetics.
Yeah. Well, when Bishop is done with the mission after he feeds them the last meal and they go down to hyperspace, he just throws himself out.
We're filth. We're filth.
Yeah.
Game for filth. We're going to filth.
So yeah, she just kind of climbs her way back out, closes the door. Everything's kind of hunky dory.
Bishop looks so horrible.
Yeah.
The makeup effects are real cool, though.
Yeah, he's spewing up all over the place, both in between scenes and during.
It's all like, no use crying over spilt milk, eh, Ripley?
Ripley's like, get in a plastic.
Please put me in my Ziploc bag to keep my freshness.
And they don't show up, but I'm pretty sure his legs are just out in space now.
I think so.
Yeah. She puts Newt down for a little nap, climbs in the pod herself.
A long nap.
Nap. Where she can dream peacefully. And that's it for Aliens from 1986.
Hello, this is Brick. My favorite movie is War Games. I would say that Starship Troopers is a critical fail. My favorite movie snack food is either cheese or 100% unsweetened chocolate chips. As far as Aliens is concerned, I like movies that have closure. After I saw Aliens for the first time, thank you, Joe, I went online and had to read lots of Wikipedia articles about the entire timeline of the entire Alien franchise. And I was actually kind of impressed. I learned a lot of things about the Aliens franchise that I did not know. But each individual movie, if it doesn't creep me out, frustrates me because nothing good ever happens. Anything you want to say to the four guys? Well, not really, because I see you all the time. That's about it.
Hey, this is Matt. My favorite movie is Jurassic Park. Ang Lee's Hulk is a critical fail. My favorite movie snack is Reese's Pieces. Aliens had a pretty profound impact on my life because it was the first time I'd ever heard an F-bomb. And to the four guys, Brian, you are very tall. Joe, you have a beard. Rob, you like margaritas. And Tony, you're funnier than you think you are. Keep up the good work.
Okay, so as mentioned earlier in the podcast, we have a big announcement for our listeners. So, why don't you tell them what we have for the people, Joe?
Well, while you're listening to this episode, you need to get your asses over to 4ampodcast.podbean.com, our new website.
Yeah.
Yep, that is the number 4, ampodcast.podbean.com. We have all the episodes archived there. Pretty soon we're going to have merchandise up there. More special features are coming. It's going to be the greatest thing on the internet.
Wow.
That's a lot of pressure.
According to my mom.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
All right.
sure.
Hi, Joe's
that
mom.
makes sense. Yep.
All right, and how are we celebrating this 100th episode and new launching of the website, Brian?
Well, we have some giveaways. And to do that,
What'd you say?
yeah, we have a few things to give away. The way you would win is if you go to one of our medias, like the website, comment under this episode, #FatChat with Fat Chat snack, your favorite snack for when you watch movies or whatever. Hashtag that for the website. Go to Instagram, #FatChat us send us a picture of your favorite snack. Same thing. What else are we gonna do? Twitter.
Yep.
Want to tweet us at
4am podcast.
and then same thing, #FatChat. What's your favorite snack? Now, just don't get too excited. Now you win one thing, so you win one. So the first person, once you win, you can't win any other ones. But we got 3 things to give away, so hit us up.
You could still leave a message on all of them. I
Oh,
guess.
absolutely,
Yeah, you want to
absolutely.
post anything and hashtag it FatChat? That's cool. Because you never know which one you might win on, but you will only get one per.
Prizes.
Yeah.
One of them will just be a chest burster coming right out of your own chest.
Tissues not included.
Mail you a live face hugger.
It'll be cute.
Or we may just do one of those like Thanksgiving turkey hand stencils. We totally should. With just a peen hanging out of it.
Oh, you ruined it.
Paper mache.
No one wants to see his Harry and the Hendersons. You're right there, Rob. All right. So what else have we got going on here, guys?
Shameless begging for money. Although it's not really shameless and it's not really begging. So we thought to ourselves, how can we improve the experience overall? Because we've been getting a lot of suggestions from our fans, from listeners, and honestly, like we can put them on. Our list is like 1,000,000 miles long at this point. So we're like, how can we expedite this and help ourselves move a little bit away from these $5 T-Pain McDonald's Happy Meal microphones that we're currently using?
I love you.
Wow. Yeah. So we decided we're going to start doing sponsored episodes. And the way that works...
What?
Yeah, I know it. So if you guys have an episode you really want us to do, a movie you really want us to see, you can go ahead and find us on PayPal. So the cost is going to be $20 to sponsor an episode. So you give us $20 and you get to choose whatever movie you want as long as it's not porn. That's pretty much the only rule. I'm sure some of these guys would have been fine if it was.
No.
Wait,
No.
Okay.
Go to the website. We'll list any restrictions on movies. It's got to be something we can get.
Yeah, that's fine.
Something
So
not
basically,
X-rated.
why does it cost $20? Well, the reason is this, because the movies do cost time and money to actually find and acquire. as well as a little bit extra to help go fund our equipment and things like that. We're not just going to go on a shopping spree with this money, but we want to get you guys more involved. We want to do some cool things with you. So the way it's going to work is you can give us money via PayPal. We'll have our PayPal account set up at the4ampodcast@gmail.com. That's the email you want to go through. And you could just go through that and leave the note or whatever. Let us know what movie you choose, and we will find that movie. And the way we'll add it into the rotation is we'll do our regular Tony, Brian, Rob, and Joe roll, and then at every fifth roll will be a
sponsored episode.
Sponsored episode, exactly. And we'll go in order, basically first come, first serve. So we'll do every fifth episode will be a sponsored episode. And if we get a whole lot of requests, then, we'll adjust it as necessary. But
yeah, so any of you that have written in or commented on enjoying our podcast, but not liking the sound quality so much, help us out by getting better equipment.
Well, yeah, and it's just a good way to support us because, we do this every week and we try and put out a good show for you guys. So
we've done triple-digit episodes. We are now entitled to ask you for money.
Yeah, I believe we can now go into syndication.
The views and opinions of Joe and Tony do not necessarily represent the views and opinions of the 4AM podcast as a whole, Esquire.
But yeah, so keep an eye out for that stuff. Hit us up.
Okay, so now that we've gotten all our shameless plugging out of the way, let's get back to it. With RottenTomatoes.com giving this a score from critics of 98%, and the audience gave this a score of 94%.
Damn right.
I think those audiences are a little bit slacking right now.
Well, that's what they thought and their opinions and so on. What about you and yours, Rob?
Honestly, I would put Ripley probably at the top of the list of my favorite action heroes of all time. And this movie just knocks it out of park in almost every regard. I don't know if I find it as watchable as Predator, and that's only because I feel Predator kind of moves along a little bit faster. But this is one of those movies I could almost watch anytime and have no problem at all. So yeah, it's an absolute high, solid A+ recommend for me. 98% I think is right on cue there. I would even put it smidget at 99.
Okay, Joe.
They nominated Sigourney Weaver for an Oscar for this.
Yeah.
And it's a movie about people dicking around in space with the bugs.
Yep,
That's true.
Yeah, I mean it's
one of the first action movies I believe to get an Oscar nom.
and sci-fi too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty much a perfect movie. It's my favorite action movie. When we did the Predator episode, I did argue with Rob that I thought it was better than Predator. I do now see his point of Predator is more watchable and you can get through quicker. I still like this movie better. But it's still like if someone's like, hey, I want to see an action movie, what should I watch? I would say Aliens or Die Hard would be my top two. It would be like Predator would be right after that. It's just an awesome movie. I mean, we've spent like 3 hours singing its praises. I like it.
All right, Brian.
love it.
I hate this movie. Like, it's the worst. I'm
No,
playing.
you don't.
I'm playing. This movie's amazing.
You did that last
Don't
time.
don't even try.
I'm a little tired, okay?
Yeah.
No, this movie is amazing. Like, I still fucking love it. I get amped up, just with the Space Marines doing their thing. It's amped up when Sigourney gets in the fucking power loader. Like, it's just an amazing movie. She's the smartest character in the movie. She does the right thing almost the entire time. I can't even think of a time where she did something fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, people just listen to her in the movie. It's a great ass movie. And I highly recommend people watch it and listen to this episode and tell your friends. Go to our website and give us money.
Okay.
For our services.
Yeah.
We'll service you. That's what we'll
Services
do.
rendered.
Mostly going to get the same thing from me. I disagree a little on the Predator thing, just 'cause, I see what you're saying, but while as Predator is something you could throw on any time and just not have to pay a whole lot of attention to it, this is different because you can throw it on any time, but it's going to take your attention. Because
that's your opinion. It's not.
Well, sure.
This is all differences of opinions.
Well, that's why this is the part where I tell my opinion, so I'm telling my opinion.
I'm saying. This ain't the
So-
internet. You don't have to be right and everybody else is wrong. We can agree to disagree.
Correct.
Anyway, it's a great movie. I think you should watch it. So, we're all in agreement on that. So, what else do we have for the people, Brian?
So, yeah, we've transitioned from October to our 100th episode, and now we are going to our franchise contest month. So, again, Rich won that contest, so we're doing Ip Man. Ip Man's gonna be next.
All right. And what else do we have for the people now, Rob?
Well, we just want to thank all you guys for listening for 100 flipping episodes, plus inboxes, plus Christmas specials, plus whatever else nonsense we tossed in there. So you guys are absolute rock stars. So first of all, we should thank Brick, who's been on the show a couple of times.
Yeah,
Okay.
thanks, Brick.
Really great.
And sang our theme song.
And sang our theme
right.
song. Definite props to Matt, who has also been on our show several times
But of course,
and is pretty awesome in his own right.
the other unclaimed brother.
Yeah. Big shout out to the Trample Prancers, who actually did our theme song and our outro song, which is
Thank y'all, Trample Prancers.
kind of a big
Thank
deal.
you guys. We love you.
On
Definite,
behalf of the Trample Prancers, I accept your praise.
definite shout out to my lovely wife, who puts up with our nonsense every week. Well, pretends to put up with our nonsense every
Your
week.
nonsense every day.
Puts up with my nonsense every day. That's for damn sure. So thank you so much for that. I want to thank 3-Shelled Joe for all of his support.
Hey, Joe.
Pretty awesome. Definite thanks to Stacy, our lovely listener out on the West Coast.
Just gonna stay face.
She joined us for the Clueless episode.
Sure did.
That is
It's also
absolutely
was on an
correct.
episode.
Definitely,
Thank you
definitely.
for that.
And just innumerable other people. We got Carolina Will, who's fairly recently started listening to our podcast, but definitely has given a lot of good feedback. Definitely been a good part of the community.
Always a welcome addition.
Who else we got? Tons of people.
I don't want to forget John, because a lot of these movies are on our list because of you. So,
Is that a,
Well,
is that a
and
reason
and
to
you're on
thank
an episode
someone?
of Highlander, so thank you so much. Thank you so much. Dylan, you know who you are. Thanks for listening. Davidson, thanks for listening, y'all. Always giving me feedback whenever I see y'all. Jeff, Nola Jeff, thank you so much for listening. Marky D and the Retro Remote Podcast, thank you guys. Amanda D at Chaotic Adequate, thank you, and thank you for your shout out. Appreciate it. If you guys want to listen to a D&D podcast, check that one out.
I want to listen to a D&D podcast.
Yeah,
Where can I find that?
Oh yeah, that's just Google Chaotic Adequate. You can find it on iTunes.
Chaotic Adequate at iTunes.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Let's see who else we got. We got Sam. We watched Wolverine X-Men Origins.
Yeah, thanks, Sam.
Yeah, Sam, that's your fault.
I mean,
But thank you. No,
it's
for
not
real.
really his. It was already on there, wasn't it?
No, but thank you. Hope you enjoyed that episode. Always giving me feedback and stuff. Appreciate that. Who else we got? Elizabeth, new listener. Thanks for listening.
People listen than I realized. Including Ricky. Thank you so much for not only being a regular listener, but sending us that lovely
Cat poop.
treat. We called cat litter, but we found out the real name was something.
I've shifted it to
It was
cat poop at this point.
Moose Tracks or something
Moose
like that.
tracks.
It's
That
cat
sounds
poop.
right.
Thanks for the
So
cat.
thanks
poop,
for the
Ricky.
moose knuckle. Thanks
Okay,
to
The views and opinions expressed by Tony.
Remember, Tony, he grabs by the base just above. Oh, sorry.
It's all about the base.
a big thank you to Megan for listening to the podcast. Just glad to have you. And thank you to Jerry for listening, and a big shout out to Rich for always being there for us. You're our man. You're a fact checker. We love you. We probably couldn't get through this without you. So thank you.
Way better than Steve.
Yeah, Steve sucks, man.
Yeah, Steve's
Still haven't heard
Steve's-
shit from that guy.
I'm still
Yeah.
waiting on his freaking answers, Steve.
Hey, come on, Steve.
Drop the ball.
Pick
Steve.
it up.
Yeah. All right. So I'd like to thank my roommate Becca. putting up for all my crap at home. Her dog Oliver, who's also a fan of our podcast.
Hello, Oliver.
And,
You're a good boy.
Spent several days listening to it. I'd like to thank Northern Matt and Amanda. Thank you for listening.
I don't want to forget William and the family.
No, William's whole
LA William.
stinking family.
Yeah, William.
Spread all over the world.
Yeah, thank you so much, Will, for listening, and thank you for entering our contest.
And thank you for loving Tremors so much.
Yes.
Tremors needs more love
It
from
does.
viewers like you.
Burt Gummer's the man. Thank you,
He is
I guess,
also a man.
to yeah.
Well,
thank you also to
Maybe
George.
he was a dragon man?
Maybe he was just a dragon.
Gummer!
I guess we should also thank George for listening and entering the contest.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.
I didn't realize you were here, George. Thanks for showing up.
Yeah, I'm going to actually go back and edit your old podcasts to improve them.
He never left.
Things I intended to have in your podcast all the time, but just didn't have the technology to do it.
Like the funny honeycomb guy.
Yeah, like the fuzzy honeycomb guy. I put Sebulba in your Harry and the Hendersons episode. I also put a singing dugong in your Mad Max episode, which hasn't happened yet, but it'll be there.
How the hell did we go through this whole episode without referencing the Ninja Turtles or Ninja Turtles 2?
I don't know, actually.
Well, I did it now.
You know, I totally forgot when we brought up the Queen being all covered in goop. I was going to say something about the Secret of the Ooze, but I'll let it go.
I'm putting Mace Dongu in the Ninja Turtles episodes. Now I made a funny... Jar Jar into your like Placid episode.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness! But for real, everyone listening, thank you so much. If we have not shouted you out, you know, I'm sorry. But like, who else we got, Tony?
Alyssa. Let's shout out Alyssa.
Alyssa. That's right, Alyssa.
You're awesome.
Again, we would not be here without your help. Just kind of keeping us on track.
Anyone else we've forgotten?
Just send us an angry email.
Yeah. But thank you
Diabetes
to all of
for
you.
providing us with the bounty of snacks.
Oh, yeah.
And anyone else listening, just thank you so much. Because without you, obviously, we'd have nothing here.
What do we got? What's up? What's our outro now?
Well, guys, thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe via iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher. You can find us on 4ampodcast.podbean.com. We have a new episode every week. Please help spread the word about the show by leaving a positive review on iTunes and liking us on Facebook, following us on Twitter, Instagram, all those amazing things. It will really help us out. You can find us there at 4am Podcast. If you'd like to contact us by email, you can do that at the 4ampodcast@gmail.com.
Cheers.
All right, so we'll see you next time when we begin our journey into Ip Man for the month. Until then,
Deuces.
Thank you so much, guys.
Because it's episode 100 and it's aliens, I'm going to say game over, man, 100 times.
Okay.
It's game over, man.
Cut his mic off.
It's game over, man.
I gotta pull it out of
Game
the.
over, man. It's game over,
good
man.
night, everybody.
It's game over, man. It's game over, man.